Hi and welcome in for everybody tuning in on YouTube. I appreciate you so much for being here, and I hope that you've had a good start to your Wednesday if you happen to be watching live. Same thing to the 12.1 thousand people that we have already had join our stream up until this point over on TikTok. Now, there's also thousands of y'all that will watch the live streams after the fact once they're VOD, so if you happen to be watching the stream once it's over, done, finished, and just a video on my YouTube channel, welcome into yourself as well. Now, every single day, before we hop into the debates, which is what we do, we try to change the minds of Trump supporters, convince them that they're supporting a lunatic, which is truly what Trump is. He's the worst president of any of our lives. We also like to go over the breaking news. And breaking news of today is a little interesting. So apparently, we're hearing reports that Trump literally shit his pants while he was doing a press briefing in the Oval Office and then rushed the press out. And there's actually a video of this occurring. Now, I'm just going to describe the video for you all. This was captured a handful of days ago. I'm sure that it's available all over the internet. He was standing in front of like a bunch of his advisors, cabinet members, Republicans in the Senate, so on and so forth. And he's taking questions from the press. And it's almost like you could hear a little shark, you know what I mean? Just a little one, you know, just, and then the face of one of the ladies standing directly behind Trump, okay, darts her eyes down at him, okay, and then looks up, and then darts her eyes down at him again, and you could, like, even see her, like, bringing her hand to her face, maybe to, like, cover her nose or something, and then, just coincidentally, in that same moment, Trump then abruptly ends the press conference, you know, says no more questions, thanks the people behind him, and then, you know, has his aides rush the press out. And no, we haven't gotten official confirmation from Caroline Levitt on this issue. I'm pretty sure if we had, you know, one of our journalists ask her this question during a press conference, they'd get their credentials revoked. But keep in mind, the party that told you to deny the evidence, okay, of your nose and ears was giving their final, most essential command. So there's the breaking news of today. And, you know, this extends, you know, beyond this construction of bathroom humor, and more deeply rooted within this political reality of the type of character that Donald Trump wants you to believe he is. For years now, you know, we've heard Donald Trump screaming about how Biden's incompetence, how he is too old, how he shouldn't be anywhere near the Oval Office. He can't even walk up a flight of stairs on his own, so on and so forth. But now, what are we seeing out of, you know, President Stinky over here, dropping a load in a press conference, okay? Engaging in just bland delusion about the 2020 election. Absolute senility. I mean, we're even now hearing from, I mean, a lot of medical health professionals that the reason why he's maybe getting bruising on both of his hands is because of an injection of Alzheimer medication. And I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is because it truly does seem like, you know, MAGA McPoopy Pants over here is a little bit, you know, in the deep end. You know, I think he just needs to go to a retirement home. The same incompetence that MAGA has been screaming about Biden for years now, it just seems to be screamingly true of nobody other than Donald Trump himself. And that's the breaking news. Apparently he shit his pants. He soiled himself. Okay. Holy shit. I mean, wow. So let's go ahead and hop into those debates with Trump supporters at this point in time. I really think that, you know, this is the final load. I get it. That is just going to really change the minds and sway the direction of many. And we won't find any Trump supporters today, but we're going to try our best. So only hop inside of that queue over on TikTok if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. You know, I thought that we got our first Trump supporter up in here already, Kill Bill 863. But he actually is like currently, oh wait, he's back. Hello, welcome back. Hello? Is he back? He's just kind of sitting there with his mic on mute. I sent you an invitation to unmute your microphone.
Hello?
Hi, welcome back. Okay. So
I didn't know I was muted.
Don't worry. So this is a Trump supporter, everybody. And yeah, man, we want to hear from you. How the hell can you still support Trump after everything he's done? I mean, you know, not just today with apparently shitting his pants, you know, but more so, okay, with the Epstein files. You know, like I really feel like we got a smoking gun from the most recent release of the Epstein files last week with over 3 million new files. And I feel like that main smoking gun isn't just the new allegations that have been made against Trump with a total of like 6, 8, or 9, but also the fact that he is clearly defending the identity of pedophiles. inside of these files, we have new emails where people are sending Epstein messages about how they enjoyed the torture video or how they have this new quote unquote sexy hot 9-year-old Brazilian girl, and so on and so forth. And the names of all these people, these pedophiles, okay, let's not sugarcoat it, are redacted. And that is the Trump administration intentionally concealing the identity of them, protecting them. And it's just like, I don't get how you could possibly sit here and argue that a pedophile protector was doing it in broad daylight right in front of our faces. I'm not, echoing a conspiracy theory or grasping for straws here, could ever serve as a righteous president of this country.
All right. So who had possession of the Epstein files before Trump was in office?
Biden. And I'll talk to you about Biden as soon as we're done talking about Trump.
So do you not support America at all? Do you not support any politician at all? Can you find a politician that is like clean? Like the people that really, really hate Trump understand that you low-key hate America.
I might have given you an incorrect answer to your question. What was your question?
What was my question? Who
what
had
was your question?
possession of the Epstein files before Trump?
Oh, I did give you an incorrect answer to your question. It wasn't Biden. It was the Department of Justice. And in fact, they were sealed in the court records and the ongoing...
Justice has possession of the Epstein files now.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
I mean, I was in the middle of my sentence, but you cut me off. So do you want an explanation or not?
Yeah, actually, they're done.
Okay. And are you aware of the fact that you won't get an explanation and you won't know what the hell is going on when you interrupt me like that? I mean, not that I don't really care too much. I just thought I'd let you know. It sounds like you know. All right, perfect. Well, it looks like I'm just going to go back into the explanation I was giving you. So, yes, under the Biden-Harris administration, the Epstein files were sealed as court documents and records with the ongoing persecution of Ghislaine Maxwell, okay? Meaning, like, the president couldn't just dip his toe into the DOJ and force the release because, they were sealed as court documents with, once again, Ghislaine Maxwell's ongoing investigation. Another point that I'd like to bring up here is the DOJ under the Biden-Harris administration operated independently of the Biden-Harris administration. They didn't really dip their toe in the DOJ ever, not once. And even when they could have, okay, like the last year of the Biden-Harris administration after Ghislaine Maxwell's trial was over, and they technically could have gone and released the Epstein files, they didn't, even if it was Epstein files that have now already been released that would have reduced Trump's chance at winning the election. Like the fact that he sent that letter to Epstein depicting the naked body of the girl, the statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret," or now these new allegations about him auctioning off, allegedly auctioning off children at Mar-a-Lago with Epstein, or the 6+ allegations made against him for child rape, so on and so forth. Okay, and it's like, I really wish that they honestly would have gone and released those files, but they genuinely and sincerely viewed it as an independent entity. And the big difference between what they did or what they didn't do and what Trump is or is not doing today is the fact that now we have legal precedent to force the release of the Epstein files, that legal precedent being the Epstein Files Transparency Act, that the Trump administration and the DOJ, which he does not deem as independent, which is a part of his administration that he uses to attack his political opponents, is refusing to abide by. They were forced to release all the files in December. They didn't. We still don't have them all. They were forced legally to give an explanation for the redactions that they made. We still don't have that explanation for the redactions that they made, and they were only legally allowed to make limited redactions to protect or conceal the identity of minors and victims. And I think that they're going far beyond the scope of the redactions that they're legally allowed to make, particularly with concealing the identity, once again, of people sending emails back and forth with Epstein, talking about torture vids, talking about quote-unquote hot, sexy 9-year-olds, so on and so forth. And I just think that this is undeniably an example of the president protecting pedophiles. And I think if the president is willing to protect pedophiles, okay, he probably shouldn't be the president. And that's a very fair, common sense evaluation. Can you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so then you think that Trump probably shouldn't be president?
I don't believe that any president in the history of the United States has ever had 100% control of any decision that has ever came out of the White House. So you putting all of this on Donald Trump. All of this is on Donald Trump. And can you 100%
he's
beyond reasonable doubt prove that anything that's been released about the Epstein
he's one of the many
files
people
is
to
true?
blame. So A, Congress really isn't to blame. because Congress passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act saying they had to release it and they couldn't redact that. Okay? And the DOJ and Trump are to blame. Yes, absolutely, because he put Pam Bondi in that position. He supports Pam Bondi in that position. And we know that Pam Bondi is willing to bend the knee and do whatever he wants, even when it's illegal. So why would Pam Bondi not be willing to do what he wants when it's legal and actually legally obligatory
thing is, like,
for them to do?
you say,
right?
like,
And
you
I
say,
think
like,
that this
proof.
line of thought absolutely demonstrates, okay, that Trump is culpable for this decision because the law is forcing them to release the files unredacted, and they're releasing them redacted. And it seems like that there's already a grave level of influence over the DOJ by Trump. This absolutely does reflect on him and his administration. Stop making excuses.
I'm not making excuses. I don't 100% have any proof about anything in the Epstein files being true. Of course, Epstein is a real
What?
man. Of course. Do you have one? If the stuff that you are saying it was 100% true, then people would have been arrested. Of course, there's stuff that is going on. Of course, there was billionaires that was on the island. There's people that was actually doing these things. But you
Wait, so
can't
you think
use
that Epstein and
this.
Ghislaine Maxwell acted alone?
I just said, of course, there were billionaires and other people going to this island. Maybe
Okay,
Donald
but you
Trump
just
went
said
to the
if we
island.
had enough
Who
proof
am
that they
I
would have
to
been
say that
arrested.
I know?
The
I
only
don't know
two
what
people
these people
arrested
are
and
doing.
prosecuted
People are
were
trying to
Epstein and
use
Ghislaine
this as a
Maxwell.
smoking gun. It's not. Let's move
Why?
on to
So why is this not a smoking
another
gun?
topic against
Why,
Trump.
why is the Trump administration concealing the identity of predators, not a smoking gun?
I don't fucking. I don't mean to cuss, but I don't know. Like, why did other
You don't know what? You don't
presidents
know why
not
that's
do
no.
anything about
Answer
it?
the question. I don't want you to evade and talk about another president here. Explain to me how the Trump administration undeniably concealing the identity of predators and rapists is not a smoking gun.
Well, I can't. I really can't like defend that. Really, honestly.
So you accept
To
that
be
that
honest.
is a smoking gun?
Yeah, I guess that's your smoking gun. Yeah, that's your
Okay.
smoking gun. I'm not
All
gonna
right.
sit here and say that anything to do with pedophilia or people identities that if they have something to do with it, then that should be dealt with. But
So now that you
that can't be
acknowledge
a
the
reason for.
existence, so now that you acknowledge the existence of this wild smoking gun against the Trump administration, you obviously no longer support the Trump administration, right?
I don't really care for the Trump administration much more than I care for any administration. I just think Trump is a likable guy to me as a person. To me as a person.
So
That's
him
what
as
I
a
think.
person is a
Do
likable
I
guy
know
to you as
if
a
somebody
person.
said if somebody shows me a video, a picture or something of Trump doing something wrong with a child or something like that, obviously you can't support someone like that. But these theories.
You left the app and we can't hear you.
Oh, I believe that. Like, I don't know. I just can't.
So I just want to clarify. What you're saying to us is that you think that Trump as a person is a likable guy to you.
As a president of the United States, opposed to Kamala Harris.
As a president. Okay. But you said likable guy. So why is he a likable president? Why is he a likable guy?
Why is anybody a likable guy?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to determine. Why is he a likable guy?
I don't know. He does funny stuff.
So you
He's
just
a
say, I don't
likable
know,
guy.
he just is?
Is that an answer? Can I
No,
answer
it's
with
not. Just to be clear, it is not an answer.
that? Okay.
But you
In
said if
comparison-
like there was any like proof that he's engaged in like really bad things. Okay, you wouldn't find him to be a likable guy anymore.
No, not at all.
Okay, open your eyes and then look at your phone screen. Here's proof that he's done really bad things. This is the verdict form of a civil court that determined he raped/essayed a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll. A unanimous jury of 9 agreed to this.
Well, that was nice.
We're waiting to hear from you.
if that's a real document and a real situation, then yeah, that's nothing
Do
to
you know
support.
that's a real document? Are you questioning
No,
its
I wasn't.
validity?
I wasn't aware of this situation. Do you think? Do you think I sit here as a normal American and research everything about Trump, or have time to do that as you do?
Well, I could tell that you don't research much. So I'm happy that I can inform you. Now you said that you don't know if that's a real document. Do you want me to prove you that that's a real document? Prove to you, sorry?
Yeah.
Okay, check this out. Open your eyes and look at your phone screen again. Boom. Here's a display capture of justdeallaw.com going over Carroll v. Trump, which is number 23-793 that you could reference against the New York courts.gov website. And then it goes over the summary. I mean, here's even the court documents, Trump versus E. Jean Carroll. And if we scroll down here a whole lot, I mean, because there's about 1 billion pages here, eventually we will come to the jury verdict form that I just showed you. Let's see how long it takes. There's a bunch of court documents. Oh, there's our slider. Perfect. I bet it'll be right at the end. All right. We should be finding it very, very soon. Oh, wait. Maybe these court documents don't include the verdict form.
W Trump.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't think that this set of court documents includes the verdict form. But anyways, here's a proof that they're real, because here are the court documents.
Hey, yeah, there's nothing to support. So what exactly does that document say?
So you're no longer a Trump supporter?
Hello.
Kill Bill?
Hello.
Hi, man. Just give me a second. Oh, Raven, can you turn off the TV in the background, please?
Yes.
No,
I was just
no, bro. I'm no longer a Trump supporter.
supporter Trump.
Okay.
I resigned
Oh.
my support of Trump, bro.
Dude, based! Hell yeah,
the
changing
Carroll
minds.
versus Trump, it was
One moment.
hilarious,
One moment.
hilarious.
Yeah, rape is hilarious to Trump supporters. I'm ensuring that you're
it was
losing your
accused for
terms.
rape, right?
One moment. So
Sure,
I
sure.
just want to point out there to everybody watching, look at that. We were just able to change your mind. Lovely to see. Now we have our next guest, Raven, in here. Raven, how old are you?
40.
Okay, and I see that there's a lot of flags in your in your bio. I just want to ensure. Are you American?
I'm Peruvian by birth, but American by choice.
So you're like an immigrant.
Yes, I'm an immigrant.
Okay, sounds good. All right, give me a second. I'm going to thank a couple people.
And I was
Then-
support Donald Trump.
Then we could hop into the debate. Here we are. All right, Anderson, thank you so much for the $3.50 over on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love. Who says, "Hey Dean, can you tell me why 56 people were killed under Obama while he was deporting people? I've tried to do research, but I can't really find too much information about it." Yes, so I forget the agency who did the report, but the report concluded that 8 of those deaths were due to medical mispractice by ICE, and then 4 of those deaths were avoidable. So in total, Human Rights Watches have concluded that around 8 of those, would like seek accountability on behest of like the DHS and ICE, and we'd condemn those. We'd say that that's bad, and we need 0 deaths per year that are to blame on ICE and DHS.
Well,
Kirsten,
medical
thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. I
across the
appreciate you so much
US.
for the love, Kirsten. That is Kristin. Appreciate you so much for the love, Kirsten. Thank you so much, Kirsten. Haley, thank you for the $5 who says love you, Dean. Love you too, Haley. Nick, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo who says Trump shitting his pants is the best news I could have heard on my birthday. Don needs a new diaper Caroline. Well, Nick, first and foremost, happy birthday, man. And if it is funny news. So I hope that you have a great birthday, dude. And thank you for the $25 donation. I'm trying to see 300 Nick W's down below in that chat. And then same thing to you, Taylor. Thank you for the $25 on Venmo 23 minutes ago. I think that was actually the very first Venmo donation of the day. Taylor with the 25 says been listening to you every single day for the last several years. And I'm so grateful for what you do. You're my go-to source for news wraps every day. Can you please wish my friend Barbara a happy birthday? She also loves you. Well, first and foremost, Taylor, I appreciate you so much for watching me for years. That is kind of nuts. And then second of all, of course, happy birthday to your friend Barbara. And then one more here, Mr. William. Thank you so much for that $20 donation over on PayPal. That is incredibly kind of you, dude. Who says Donald Trump or Stephen Miller if you were forced to choose. Keep up the good work. Ooh, William. I don't know, dude. I honestly think that Stephen Miller's might be worse than Trump, and that is hard. That is really hard. But I appreciate you so much for the $20, William. Let's get 200 William W's down below in that comment section. All right, dude. The mic and the floor are yours. Tell us how the hell you could still support this atrocious, lunatic, anti-American, anti-Constitution president, Mr. Dookie Don.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. The whole anti-American, okay. Let's go. So, you had a question or something?
Yeah, I just asked it. How can you
I
support this
Trump. I'm an
absolutely
immigrant.
this lunatic, anti-American, anti-Constitution president, Dookie Don, Mr. Trump? That's the question.
Well, first of all, because he actually went straight forward to try to fix the immigration issue. He was one of the most honest ones when it comes to say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and he actually tried to do it. We don't live in some sort of dictatorship. We need a permit with the Senate, the House representative, so he was not able to actually accomplish the whole thing. But he was the one that actually said, I want to try to fix it, and he did it. He was building the wall, which is not the 100% solution, but it's a deterrent. And as an immigrant, seeing what is called the human trafficking, child trafficking, the whole process that is a complete nightmare, going almost to 0% is something that I applaud the man for doing it, because the process is almost gone.
Is that all? Cool. Well, let's go ahead and start going.
No,
point
you
by
want
point.
something else?
No, that's fine. So you said that Trump fixed the immigration issue. I can't think of a more outrageous and egregious take. No, Donald
He
Trump didn't fix
it.
any.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
I didn't say he fixed it.
I
He
literally
tried to
wrote.
fix it, but he
Did you
did
hear
a
me
good
typing?
job.
One moment. Did you hear me typing that whole time? Like that was me writing down precisely what you said.
I-
You said, "quote that Donald Trump is
Personally not
is
paying
very
attention.
honest because he said he was going to fix it, then he did." So you did say he fixed it. Now, if you want to walk that one back, that's fine. Okay, because I'd walk that back one.
No,
I
he
would walk that one
tried
back
to
too if I was
fix
in
it.
your
He's
shoes.
trying to fix it.
Okay, so you are walking that one back. Okay, that's fine.
He's trying
So
to
what is the
fix
walk
it.
back? What is a new
He's
claim
trying
now
to
that you've
fix
walked
it.
back that one? Is that he's trying to fix it? Okay, so you support Trump because he's trying to fix
Yeah,
immigration.
this is a yes.
Okay, all right.
It's
How
a
so?
generational issue that he's trying to fix. You
Okay, so
cannot
how
pretend that
how is he
he's
trying
gonna
to
just
fix it
pull
that
out
just
a
that just screams
magic.
I should support this guy?
The whole thing about closing the border
Closing the
and
border.
stopping the
Yeah.
human trafficking
And how is he closing the border?
with kids in love.
What's that? Can you
Come on.
repeat that, please?
How you think he's doing that with kids in love?
Okay, so
By
that's not
creating a
genuine response.
deterrent by the traffickers not to
By
bring
creating a
people
deterrent.
so freely
Okay, you know what?
across
We
the
might
border
actually
the way they were used to, because how many
we
people
might
went
actually,
through a Biden?
One moment. We might actually agree here. I do agree. The way that Donald Trump has been able to reduce undocumented entry into this country is by creating a deterrent, and that's actually the prime reason why we shouldn't support him and his immigration policy. He is not reducing undocumented entry into this country with any proactive, effective, long-term means, like imposing better regulations for legal entry to expedite those systems to disincentivize undocumented entry, okay? But rather, he is attempting to reduce undocumented entry by deterring it by violating both the human and constitutional rights of the immigrants that are already here. We see mayhem in the streets of this country. Citizens like Keith Porter, Renee Good, and Alex Preddy are being murdered by ICE agents in clear daylight. Undocumented immigrants, okay, are being illegally detained and deported with no judicial warrant for their arrests and no due process for their deportation, which has already been ruled on by many courts around this country, many federal courts, many circuit courts, to a center in El Salvador for terrorists where they are then being beaten, tortured, and starved, okay? We see an attack on the Constitution, from the president to attempt to reclassify citizens as undocumented immigrants, okay, by attacking the 14th Amendment and saying that if you're born to undocumented immigrants on American soil, well, contrary to the rights that you've had since 1868, with the ratification of the 14th, you're actually no longer a citizen under this rule, and we're also going to deport you to that Center for Terrorists down in El Salvador. And I guess my point is, when the deterrent is something so gravely immoral, you cannot support the outcome, even if it is something that is on the surface level good, okay? Like less undocumented entry. A good analogy that I like to use when having this conversation to really demonstrate this point is, let's assume that there's this boss of a company, and his goal that he was hired on for is to increase worker productivity in his department. And he creates a deterrent away from unproductiveness by like killing the least productive worker every single month. Obviously, that is going to produce a positive surface level outcome of more productive workers, but because that deterrent is so gravely immoral, it's not something that you should support, just like the gravely immoral deterrents that the Trump administration have enacted on to scare away new undocumented entry.
That's called cherry picking, right?
You could say the phrase cherry picking. It doesn't really do anything. It's not meaningful because it's not a response to my argument.
Because I personally know people that work for DHAs and the ICE. In the majority of the case, they're not just going around taking out people. The fact is that you're choosing those cases to try to create a narrative is quite pathetic, to be honest.
Well, see, the thing is when they do engage in lawlessness, which is it's not an individual issue, it's a systemic issue. Okay, right? There wasn't just like one random DHS agent that infringed on the Constitution. That was Trump. There wasn't just like one random DHS agent that arrested somebody without a judicial warrant. ICE as a whole is arguing in court that all of their agents should be able to do that. There wasn't like one random ICE agent, okay, that determined that they wanted to break into a house without a warrant, once again, in violation of Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights. It's ICE as a whole that changed their department policies to allow their agents to do that last year. And then when you do have the quote unquote random ICE agents murdering people like Alex Pretty, for instance, okay, it is then defended by the system. It is then defended by the president. It is then defended by Kristi Noem. So like a majority of these things are actually not individualist, but rather systemic and reflective. One moment. A majority. No. I'm speaking. So a majority of these things are not individualists. One moment. A majority of these things are not individual in the sense that there's just random ICE agents doing them. It's actually an issue of the system as a whole. And then the things that could be individual, then condemned, okay, and avoided, like the murder of Alex Pretty, Renee Good, Keith Porter, and so on, well, they become a byproduct of the system when the system creates the environment that allows them to take place by like only having their agents trained for 47 days, and then defends the actions when they occur by like calling the victims domestic terrorists and saying that the agents were working well within government and DHS policy. Do you get my point here? I sent you an invite to unmute.
Somebody keeps muting me.
Yeah, that was me because
what I was saying is, you don't know the cases of people that are actually from other places like Germany, Italy, Netherlands, literally white people that are being getting abuse. And I've noticed those cases that some people that are not reported in the news because it doesn't go with the narrative that this is supposed to be an act against minorities and people of color. Because as an immigrant, I'm laughing my ass off at the fact that you guys cherry picking this to try to create a narrative, because ICE was not in your words like 6 months ago. It's just a new thing that you got it and you actually.
Okay, so you're not gonna. I just want to clarify. You're not gonna respond to my point.
What was your point? It was just a whole bunch of nonsense that you said.
It's just that you weren't listening to it. I'll repeat it though. Once again, I understand your counter argument. You're saying, Dean, you're attempting to misconstrue these individual bad actions of a minority of ICE agents to be reflective of the system as a whole, and that is very deceitful, and that is very dishonest, and that is very like bad narrative building. That pathetic narrative building. That's your argument, right?
Yes, pathetic.
Now listen to my response to that argument.
You're just saying when the police were accused of
listen to my response to that argument. Listen to my response to that argument, okay? I understand what you're saying. Okay, I'll repeat your argument one more time. Dean, you're pathetic, deceitful, and dishonest because you're attempting to take these individual bad actions of individual ICE agents, then reflect them on the system as a whole, creating a false narrative. Here's my response. It's because they do reflect on the system as a whole. Because a majority of these actions aren't being taken by individual agents. they're being taken by the leaders of the system. Okay? Like, you know, redefining citizens as undocumented immigrants for unconstitutional deportation. That wasn't a random DHS agent. That was Trump with an executive order. Okay? Updating ICE policy to allow for unlawful searches, seizures, and arrests. That wasn't a random ICE agent that just did it one day. Okay, that was actually Kristi Noem with the DHS that changed their policy in 2025 to allow for house entry with no warrants, and is now arguing in court, the system as a whole, literally the Department of Homeland Security is arguing in court that they could just arrest people without judicial warrants. And then when we do have those actions that could be those individual bad actions that shouldn't reflect on the system as a whole, like the murder of Alex Preddy, well, it then is defended by the system as a whole when we hear Kristi Noem and Trump and Stephen Miller, the leaders of the system, saying that that agent did what he needed to do and Alex Preddy was an assassin domestic terrorist. Do you get the point?
Yes, and unfortunately, he was a domestic terrorist.
Oh,
It's
God,
not, it
how
was
so?
not his first time. It was not his first time. If you wanna show up and antagonize federal agents with a weapon, what do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen?
So why was he a domestic terrorist? Because he had a weapon?
No, the fact that he was able to show up armed with intention to antagonize and create this sort of situation in which he actually got involved and he got justice.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
we're just going to break down
he
your
got
argument.
justice
Alex
in the wrong
Preddy.
way.
One second. Alex Preddy is a domestic terrorist because
Yeah, on my side, yeah, I see
showed
him as the
up
domestic terrorist.
armed. Okay, so the first reason you have to believe that Alex Preddy was a domestic terrorist is because he showed up armed.
No,
Is
no,
there
no,
anything
no,
else?
no. To antagonize.
To
antagonize and provoke
antagonize.
federal
What do you?
agents.
Okay, what do you mean by antagonize?
Just don't
there?
check out.
What do you mean by
I
antagonize there?
care- As an immigrant, I
Well,
have
one second. I'm so
encounters with
sorry. We just need to
police
clarify.
officers.
We just need to clarify.
And I
What do you
had no
mean by
problems.
antagonize there?
Oh, you didn't see the videos. He was just showing up and just giving like hamburgers and hot dogs. No, he was literally showing up to provoke an emotion,
But like how so?
and also, even though knowing that ICE agents were over 80,000%.
But like how so? Like what was he doing to antagonize them?
What do you see in the video? Do you see the videos even before the one that actually when he actually got the justice?
Yeah, just tell me what he was doing to antagonize them that made him a domestic terrorist.
Show up in any federal operation armed and see what happens to you.
Okay, so then your argument wasn't that he was antagonizing; it was that he was armed. So you believe he was a domestic terrorist because he was armed.
No.
Then
It
how is he
was
antagonizing
his
them?
intention that he was literally you didn't see the previous video. He actually kicked the rear actually.
So kicking the taillight is what made him a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, he kicked. No.
Then what made him a domestic
The
terrorist?
concept of going against a federal operation, even a police operation, and you go in with that intention. What do you think you're gonna
Intention
get?
to do what?
When you see the police are gonna show up giving you a hug, yeah, man.
Wait,
you're right.
wait.
Thank
What
you for your
intention did he
service.
possess that made him
Keep
a
it
domestic
going.
terrorist?
Do you know what terrorism is?
Obviously, I don't know what you mean by terrorism. So once again,
Yeah, you don't
what
know. It's
intention
the
did
same
he
with
possess
fascism
that
is
that
you
made
don't
him
know
a
is what it
domestic
is.
terrorist?
The concept of changing politics through the fact of terror.
What? I'm sorry, you're not making
He
sense.
went
What?
up-
One second. I'm
he
sorry.
showed
We got to
up.
take a break. We got to take a break here. We
He
got to take a break.
showed up
Sir, we got to take a break.
with a
Hush,
full-blown
hush,
intention
hush,
to
hush,
violence.
hush, hush.
Shut
hush,
up.
hush,
With the full-blown
hush.
intentions to
Okay.
create chaos and violence and expected a response. And he got the response he wanted, so he's no longer among us.
Okay,
So
how do you know that he
it's a
showed
good
up with an
thing.
intention to create chaos?
Oh, you didn't see the videos. He was just giving police officers and federal officers kisses and hugs, right?
So once again, you're not answering the question. How do you know that he showed up with an intention to create chaos?
You didn't see the video, right?
You're not answering my question. What from the video, okay, proves that he showed up with an
He was just
intention to
sitting,
create chaos.
just chilling there, just. Hey,
Why-
there was
this
a
guy's
lot of
evading.
people with whistles and screaming, and no, but he actually approached the officers during the federal process. He was
Okay,
not
so because
there
he
to
walked,
just-
so because he walked up to the agents, he was a domestic terrorist.
try to do the same.
So that is your
You
argument.
try to do the same. And you think what you're gonna get?
Just to ensure, your argument is that because he walked up to the agents, he is a domestic terrorist.
The fact that he showed up armed with
fact that he
intention
had
to
a gun.
create conflict.
Wait, but I've asked
With
you how.
intention to create conflict. Look,
This is unreal. I honestly, I'm this close to just
as a
kicking
member-
this guy.
I carry weapons. I got in
Okay,
contact.
I put you on mute because we've been going in this circle for the last 5 minutes where I'm not even trying to debate you. I'm just trying to
She's a
ask you
dumbass.
clarifying questions about your view, okay? Because you made the claim that Alex Preddy was a domestic terrorist, and I am now asking you clarifying questions just to try to like figure out why you think that. Very simple. And you've been able to say that he showed up there armed, but then you also said it was something to do with like an intention to create chaos. So your argument is that Alex Preddy was a domestic terrorist because he showed up armed with an intention to create chaos. And the question
Wait.
that I'm asking you that you are not answering is clear. How do you
Let me
know
be honest
that
in
Alex
one
Preddy...
thing.
No, you're going to mute again. Listen.
Let
How
me
do
be
you
honest.
know? No.
When I finish with it,
Stop fighting me on this. Raven, stop fighting me on this.
You-
It is your time to
at the
listen, and
end.
it is my time to speak.
you folks are domestic.
I'm gonna count down from 5. By the time I'm at 1, I want your full attention, buddy. 5, 4,
You folks are
3, 2,
innocent.
1. All
Oh,
right.
Yeah, you too. For you too.
So let's
yeah.
see if this worked.
Domestic enemies.
The question is, how do you know that Alex Preddy possessed an intention
Enemy.
to create chaos?
Domestic enemies. Swallow it. You guys are domestic enemies.
Okay, buddy.
And nobody's
I
gonna
know.
change
We
that.
hear your big feelings, but would you mind answering the question?
So you can tell my heart is pouring out. So yeah, for me,
Okay.
you all are domestic enemies.
All right. Can you answer my question?
Like, go f yourself.
No, my question was, how do you know that Alex Preddy possessed this intention to create chaos?
Yeah, it's talking like well. Just the thing is, you folks are domestic enemies.
Okay, we
Plain and
heard you
simple.
last time. Would you mind answering
Just
the question?
swallow it, digest it. Because we don't see you the same
Yeah.
you used to be before. Now I cannot stand you folks from head to toe.
Yeah,
I don't want
so-
the fact
so
that
do
we
you-
share the same oxygen is just you give me.
So do you plan to answer the question at any point?
So for that kind of situation, yes, you folks are
Okay.
the enemy
Alright.
within,
Okay, I hear you.
and that includes the whole thing.
We hear you, buddy. we
So,
hear you. I hear
Don't
ya.
worry, don't worry.
Do,
It's
do you
okay,
mind
it's
on answer?
okay.
Do you mind answering the question though?
Personally, I hope things go south pretty soon because I'm sick of you people.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm like
Especially
21,
mostly white
probably half your
liberals. I
age,
can't stand you
significantly already more successful than you are, and you will ever be until the day you die. But that's something else. Just simply asking you.
know,
Can you answer the
damn,
question?
That's crazy. That's crazy. But yes, just understand that part.
Oh, don't worry.
You
I
are
understand
the
that you think I'm
enemy.
a domestic enemy. That's fine. How do you know that Alex Preddy possesses intention to create chaos?
Jesus.
Do you notice how you can't answer the question? Do you know what that means? It means that you're a dumbass.
You saw the video. You came to that
Yeah.
conclusion. Yeah. Eat it.
So,
Homo.
so do you want to do you want to try to answer the question?
You what?
Do you want to
He
try to
got
answer?
justice.
Okay.
He
So
got
how
justice.
how do you know that he possessed an
He's no
intention
longer among us.
to cause chaos?
He got justice.
Okay. All right. You're not going to answer the question. Let's try another question, my friend. So, what is the legal standard as adjudicated by the Supreme Court that authorizes LEOs to engage in the use of lethal force?
Oh my god, this is just way too funny right now.
Do you have an answer to that question? What is the legal standard set forth by the Supreme Court that authorizes LEOs to engage in the use of lethal force?
Who's talking about LEOs? I'm telling you, you guys are the enemy within. I don't give a damn
LEOs,
about it.
that is a law enforcement officer. That's like what an ICE agent is. They're technically a federal law enforcement officer. So I'm asking you, do you know what the Supreme Court ruled insofar is what ICE agents, all right, need to be sure of before they kill somebody with their gun?
Enemies within don't deserve that.
Okay. All right. Well, I understand now that you're not going to answer my questions. So I'm just going to stop being so kind and I'm just going to be honest with you. Raven, you label me as an enemy from within because I am an enemy to you and your cult. You are a traitor to this country. You are anti-American, and so is the president that you support. You are just like the foot soldiers of Hitler's Reich. Okay, you were just like the Nazi foot soldiers. Okay, serving in loyalance to the traitorous, treacherous, all-knowing, all-powerful leader. And you label me as an enemy because I am an enemy, not to this country, nor its constitution, nor its rule of law or moral fabric, but I'm rather an enemy to you. Because what I do every single day in front of an audience of 20 to 30,000 people is I expose the mindlessness, the irrationalities, and the absolute bullshit that you have to accept as being true in order to support and to be a member of your cult. Okay? I've even done it with you, and that's why you're pissed. I was able to prove to so many people that my 7-year-old nephew has a bigger brain than you because I asked you why you think it was righteous for this man to lose his life, to be executed with a gun at the hand of an agent of the state in broad daylight. And when you couldn't answer the question, you started crashing out and calling me a domestic enemy. Here's a really good note for all of our viewers everywhere. If you are justifying the execution of a human, and then when another person asks you why you think that execution was justified, you can't answer, so you start calling them a domestic enemy, you are basically a Nazi, okay? That's what the Nazis did.
Oh, I'm going to cry now. How can you cry in German? I just don't know that. I need to know how to learn German, I guess.
We're going to go on to the next guest, folks. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. I think that I really get under the skins of people like that guy, because like I just don't give them like that emotional reaction that they're looking for. You know, it's like I would have been totally justified in like raising my voice and crashing out. But it's like when I don't do that, it's, oh my God, it makes them so mad. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Austin?
Yes.
Okay, well, you also happen to be 13 years old. Let's go to move on to the next guest, folks. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. Guys, the Trump supporters are seriously bottom of the barrel. Hey, Mr. McSkittles, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. He says, I will always be a proud enemy of the state. If that state represents fraud, protects pedos, raises taxes on the poor, and cuts taxes for the rich, lies straight to our faces, and murders people on the street. I appreciate you for the $10, Mr. McSkittles. I hope that you're having a good day, and I appreciate you for being here. We got the next guest, Julian, loading up. I'd also like to quickly thank Cloudy for the $10 for the ibuprofen because the headache I got from the last guest. Thank you so much for the love, Cloudy. Jen, thank you so much for the $15 donation. Fuck yes, Jen. Jen says, keep spreading your message. You make a difference every day. Love you, Dean. I love you too. Thank you so much for your support. Seriously, it means the world. Same thing to Hawkeye. Thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat. That is crazy. Welcome in, man. Give me a moment here. Hawkeye with the $20 says, I've heard language like domestic enemy in my history book, Brown Shirts essay. Appreciate you so much for the $20, Hawkeye. I know that you were here yesterday, and you were showing mad love yesterday as well. I hope that you're doing good today, Hawkeye. And then we got a big one here. And thank you so much for the 55 euros over on YouTube Super Chat. And that is insane. That is incredible. Thank you so much for the love, Anne. And with the 55 euros, attached a message that reads, have you heard of the city of Minneapolis is nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize at 2026 for peaceful protests against ICE? How do you think Trump's reaction will be? Keep up the good work. Oh my God, he'd be so fucking pissed. You know, huge shout out to Minneapolis. Like on a real note, not even as like on a let's antagonize Trump note. I think that they deserve it. Okay, Minneapolis has been outspoken, and Minneapolis has been on the front lines fighting for liberty for years now. From George Floyd to Alex Preddy to Renee Good, I think they deserve that damn prize. Thank you for the 55 euros, Ann. Show some love to Ann down below in that chat. And Johnny, I got you connected. Do you support Trump?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, do you support Trump?
Why can't I hear this guy?
Can
you guys hear me?
Yes.
People in chat, can you guys hear me?
Maybe he can't see me either. Johnny, just leave and rejoin. But he can't hear me. I'm going to disconnect him. Johnny, we could hear you. Just hop back in that queue. Make sure that your volume on your phone is on. And we're going to go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, folks. Only up instead of the queue if you happen to be MAGA, folks. All right. We also have a handful of people to thank over on PayPal and Venmo. I'm going to go and thank y'all here in a moment. Let's just try to get the next guest up in here. What's up? Do you support Trump? Nope, they left. Moving on, y'all. Okay. All right. We got Dark and Mysterious loading up. Ooh, so mysterious. Oh, they just left. Hi, do you support Trump?
Hey, what's up? Yeah.
How old are you?
29.
What year were you born in?
95.
Okay. And you're like muffling your mic. You have something on top of it.
Oh, my bad. It's probably my
Yeah,
finger.
perfect. I'm going to pass that mic to you in a second here. I'm just going to thank a couple people first. Ellen, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. I thank you. Thank you so much for the love, Ellen, who says, Raven was a complete narcissist, and the way that you were making him gutturally angry was fucking poetry. I appreciate you for that love, Ellen. Will, I appreciate you so much for the $5 over on Venmo to quote-unquote fellow member of the enemy from within. Let's go. Jared, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Holy shit, Jared. Jared said $50, and Jared says, please kick this brain-rotted idiot. I'd assume that you sent that when we still had Raven connected to the live. Huge shit out to you, dude. We got him gone. Your wish was granted. Thank you. Thank you so much for the love, Jared. Show some love to Jared down below in that comment section. I'm trying to see 500 Jared W's down below in that chat while we are still looking for that next guest. Seriously, dude. Super, super fucking kind of you, Jared. Hell yes. Same thing to Deidrin. Thank you for the $5. Then Tracy, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Thank you. Thank you so much for the love, Tracy. Jose, thank you for the $25, who says thanks again for shedding light on these very dark times. Wish me happy birthday, Dean. Today's my birthday. Jose, happy birthday, bro. I hope that you enjoy your evening. Everybody, show some love and show some birthday wishes to Jose down below in that chat. Appreciate you for that $25 donation, man. Then Daniela, thank you for the $10, who says, as a Peruvian, I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that word, we do not claim this idiot. Based. And then Diego, thank you for the $5. We are all caught up over on Venmo. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Hello?
Hello. Do you support Trump?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, cool, man. How old are you?
I'm 20.
All right, man. Got 4 people to thank on PayPal. Then we'll pass you that mic. Anna, thank you for the $25 donation. I appreciate you for supporting me and supporting what we do here. I'm trying to see 300 Anna W's down below who says, Dean, you are amazing. I've learned so much from watching your lives. I've even been able to educate others around me regarding what's going on in our country right now. Fuck yeah, Anna, dude. That is honestly the reason why I do this. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for being a patriot, and I appreciate you for the $25 donation. Same thing to you, Jade. Thank you for the $6. Robin, thank you for the $6. Kenneth, thank you for the $10, who says, thank you for your persistence in breaking down bias. I try my best, but rarely succeed with the people on live. That last conversation, oh, that was hard. And then Alexa, thank you so much for the $15. I appreciate you, Alexa. Dude, let's get 200 Alexa W's. And then 100 Fussy W's down below in that comment section who says, Dean, here's $10 just to antagonize you. Now I'm a domestic terrorist according to the caller. Yeah, apparently, Fussy. Good to see you. And then one last one here. Olivia, thank you so much for the $6. And I just read your message. That is incredibly kind. Take it away, dude. Tell us how the hell you can still support the Trump administration after, I mean, one of the worst, years I've seen in a while, ranging from a demise and destruction of the American economy to calling for the execution of his political opponents, to defending the murder of 3 citizens, actually, to launching a potential invasion/attack on one of our allies that could have destroyed NATO, to so much more. I don't know. Where do you want to start?
Honestly, I don't really know, man. It's just more, I guess, what I came up with around. I guess more that I look, more that I watch, I start to see and realize how much of an idiot he actually is. But
dude, so true. I grew up very similar to yourself, dude. I grew up in a Republican family, went to a Republican school in a Republican area. You know, I still
like
live where
all
I
my
grew up
friends.
in,
Oh wait,
yeah.
sorry, I cut you off.
I still live where I grew up in. 80% of the people here are Republicans, and very similarly, growing up, all my friends were also Republicans. So that could definitely make somebody MAGA. I think that the solution for you probably wouldn't be a debate with me, unless that you think that you do have any good reasons why you support Trump. I'd happily run over them with you. But
honestly, I really
don't.
don't. It really is just like friends and family, I guess. Because like I know honestly, my grandfather absolutely hates him. And I've been talking to him a lot about it. So I think that's been some of it. But, like, I don't really know.
No, man, I know exactly where you're at. I was there many years ago myself. Yeah, man, I don't think that a debate is the best solution for you. I think that a better solution for you would be to tune into the live, listen and hear me out for what I have to say. You know, even if like you're doing shit, you know, just kind of like background noise. I think that this is some good background noise. And I bet if you do it for like, I don't know, an hour, even if that's split up between multiple days, that I'll be able to change your mind.
All right. Well, thank you, man.
Yeah, dude. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And yeah, okay, dude.
You too.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think people like that, like those are like really the people that like I want to be watching the stream. You know, like oh my god, like that's the exact type of person whose mind I think we could change. Truly, I mean that seriously. You know, just kind of grew up around it. That's what all the family says. That's what the friends say. Like, of course you're gonna inevitably agree with him because it's just advantageous for you socially, even if you don't really know what you're talking about. So I think when we could find somebody like that who's also open to like wanting to know what they're talking about, learning more, okay, like they're not a cult member, okay? They've just been misled, and somebody like that can have their mind changed. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
You can hear me now. Good.
I can now. Yeah, you were frozen up the last time. I apologize.
No worries, no worries. I'm going to thank two people for their super chats, and I'll pass you that mic so you can tell us why. First and foremost, Luna. It's good to see you again. Thank you so much for the 24 euros. I appreciate that, Luna. Show some love to Luna. Luna today says, I translate the drunk caller from earlier. He's a blue collar and breathing, so I could kill him because I don't like him. You know what, Luna? I bet that's a pretty accurate translation. Thank you so much for the 24 euros. So show some love to Luna down below. And then Mew Mew, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat. Appreciate you so much. Dude, that is a shit ton of money. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, Mew Mew. Show some love to Mew Mew while we're hopping into this next debate, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. If you're watching and you want to support me, like Mew Mew, like Luna, you can actually find my Venmo and PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok, pinned message on YouTube, and the handles also at the top of the phone screen. All right, dude, take it away. Tell us how you still support Trump, the worst president of your life.
Yeah, so I would say one of the biggest reasons why I still support him is I really like the way he operates when it comes to utilizing a much more force when dealing with drugs. When dealing with drugs,
make sure not to say the names of any of them. We just have to be super careful about that on TikTok.
Okay, and yeah, I think that's one of the biggest reasons because I have family members that have suffered from issues, addiction, things like that, and just seeing how he's handled that and taken that so seriously, that is something I support. Also, with his global economics, just the way that he plays the game. He's playing the game with the tariffs. I'm in electronics manufacturing, so although I don't agree with the tariffs, it does affect the consumer in a lot of ways. It was a strategic thing that he did to help our economy get ahead and help our positioning against different countries. The whole ICE situation, I don't have any comments on that. I have family members that are dealing with that. I don't appreciate the rhetoric in the narrative that's in the news, just because it really is intensifying the situation and making things worse on both ends. But
okay,
other than that,
bruh, so you said that you have family members that are dealing with ICE. So your first point was to say, I like Trump because of the way that he's handling with DRUGS, because you've had family members that deal with DRUGS. So therefore, why don't you like the Democrats today because of the way that they're attempting to deal with ICE?
I think it's exacerbating an already volatile situation. And I think to assume that doing the things that the people are doing is not going to cause some type of catastrophic chaos.
So you think that everyone should just comply?
No, I don't think people should comply. I also think people shouldn't like spit on cops and throw things at their vehicles and hit their vehicles. I just think that assault probably is not a good approach.
Okay.
I think that people should keep.
I agree for the most part. You know, it's probably not a good idea to assault people, for sure. But I think it's an even better idea not to kill people, which is ICE is doing. Yeah. Which is what ICE is doing. And by the way, that environment, okay, that is created where we're seeing, you know, spitting and fingers being bit off and taillights being kicked. Like that is only the case because ICE is killing people, because ICE is illegally detaining and deporting people to torture prisons in other countries. Like, I understand that, you know, individualism and self-responsibility, ultimately, they're responsible for their actions. Okay, but the environment that led to them taking the place and like assaulting somebody, kicking somebody, so on and so forth, okay, is a very volatile and dangerous environment created by the state in the first place, where we're executing citizens in broad daylight, so on and so forth. So I feel like the very first step here would be for those empowered to reel it back, okay, to condemn murder, to not break the law or infringe on the Constitution. And I don't really think that we'd see as many people getting assaulted, kicked, spit on, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with some of that. And then also I think it comes to a point where people have to take accountability for their actions. And if
So
you're
then
going to
why
go
doesn't
out
Trump?
and protest, yeah, I'm saying people in general, like people. Trump is a people,
Then
right?
hold that
ICE
standard
are
to him,
people.
okay? He's like
Yeah.
like I've never seen a man that is less able to take accountability for what he does, okay? He wasn't able to
I
take
agree with
accountability for
that.
raping Eugene Carroll, so he called for her to
He
be
don't
thrown
say
in jail.
sorry.
Yeah, he wasn't able to take accountability for not renting to black people in the 70s, so he just brushed it under the rug. He wasn't able to take accountability for his massive economic failures. We saw the worst job reports last year since 03, so he just said that the economy was an A++++. He wasn't able to take accountability, okay, for his involvement in cover-up of the Epstein files, and is now just disgracing any journalist who asks about them. Screamed at one of CNN's journalists yesterday when she just simply asked a question, okay, well, the victims feel as if they haven't been given justice. Okay, it wasn't able to take accountability for losing the 2020 election, so he caused J6, then never took accountability for J6, and then saw those violent insurrectionist domestic terrorists as patriots and let them out of jail. It's like, if you think people should take accountability, then when we have a man who does really bad things, okay, and takes no accountability, I'd argue that man definitely shouldn't be in such a grave position of power.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Even Pelosi took accountability for J6 in certain ways. So I agree with you on that. I understand where you're coming from on that. He definitely will not say sorry.
Okay, if you understand where
but
I'm
what
coming
I'm-
from on that, then where does a line fall? Because obviously, all those things do not cross any red lines for you. So where does
Right.
the red line fall? Like, what would the administration have to do for you to be like, I can't support him any longer?
I think the way that things are being managed right now in our media, in our social media, it's exacerbating an already tense situation. That's it. I think
I feel
that
like
we
I'm
all
not getting
need
the
to
answer
just
to my
be
question.
we need to be adults.
Okay,
And we
can you
need
answer my
to
question?
what was your question directly? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I brought up a bunch of like the really bad things that Trump has done, and then you said, okay, Dean, I agree with you there, but like all those things like don't seem to cross any red lines for you, or else you'd say, Dean, I agree with you, and I no longer support Trump. So here's a question: where does your red line against Trump fall? What's something Trump or his administration could do that would make you stop supporting them?
I mean, I really don't like the guy. I support his policies. I don't like the guy.
Okay.
So I
is
can
there
support.
not an answer to my question?
I mean, the red line, you're asking for a specific red line to where I would shift over to the left and vote Democrat. Is that specifically what you're asking?
Not even. Just stop supporting Trump. I mean, there's about 1 billion Republicans out there that don't support Trump.
So can you not like an individual but also approve some of his policies? Can you do that?
Well, I mean, I think that you could say that maybe you think that you agree with this policy, but still yet you can't support the administration. You wish that they weren't in power because they crossed a red line. Can you do that?
I mean, I could. That's basically my position. So I didn't even vote this time around.
Okay. So you're not even a Trump.
I voted for Trump the first route, and then afterwards I tried to get him in there again. It didn't go through, and then now I didn't vote this time. And I'll tell you the reason why is because of it's all the division that has been happening. I absolutely can't stand it. My family, they take this shit so seriously, and they want to, like you do, establish a red line that you have to choose left or right. And truly, there is shit on both sides.
Yeah, but we
There
haven't
really
seen any
is.
shit on the left that's as bad as the shit on the right. That's why
it's
my
shit
answer
either
to this. It changes because if the shit on the left isn't as bad as the shit on the right, okay, well then we should say that we should vote for harm reduction. We should vote for the left, but because there is still shit on the left, we should also advocate for more progressive voices within the left to clean that shit up. Okay, that's the solution. It's not to say that one side is Jesus and one side is Satan, but it's rather to say that one side is Satan and then one is, not Jesus. You know what I mean? And acknowledge the harm that they cause. And then to turn around and advocate for better voices within the party that's not perfect, to try to get them as perfect as possible, and never vote for the party that's literally Satan, okay, until they figure their shit out.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that, man. And can I ask you something? Because it sounds like you know a lot more than I do. I want to be educated on something. How have other past presidents and let's say even the news, all of it, like what's going on right now? Have you seen this happen like with ICE before? Like has ICE has it always been around?
Yeah, so ICE
has it been
ICE has been around
perfect
for a long
before?
time. ICE has never been perfect. There's always been a lot of misconduct and a lot of immoralities. However, we've never seen it to this extent. We've never just seen ICE execute citizens in broad daylight, then have the administration defend them. We've never seen the administration attempt to like reclassify constitutional amendments, break in the Constitution to empower ICE to deport citizens, so on and so forth.
Okay,
But Johnny, because
would you say
I'm
you
just
say
last
the
question for you here
mainstream
because I'm going to move on to somebody that actually supports Trump.
yeah,
because said that
would you
don't
say
vote for him.
would you say the mainstream media is in support of Trump or they hate Trump?
Well, it depends
probably
on
hate
what
him,
mainstream
right?
media sources you're looking at. The largest media
Most
sources
of
on the
them
planet do support Trump.
On the planet?
Yes.
Which
X.
ones?
X is the largest media outlet on the planet.
Okay, I'm talking mainstream media.
Well, in
The you
2026,
the
X
news
is
sources.
mainstream, dude.
Yeah, it's social media still considered. I understand your point, and I agree with that sentiment
It's
that
more
the numbers
mainstream
are the
than
numbers.
legacy.
I agree. I definitely agree. I understand what you're saying, but you're avoiding my point. So the point is the
Are you
mainstream
asking me
media
about
hates
legacy
Trump.
media? So,
Yeah,
there's a
they
bunch
don't
of
like Trump.
there's a bunch of legacy media sources that are like realistic and hate Trump with good reason. And then there's other legacy
Yeah.
media sources that are not realistic or fucking like insane and support Trump regardless of what he does, like Fox News.
I agree. I agree with that. So now that we've established
But I did say that was your last question, Johnny, just because you told us that you're not necessarily a Trump supporter. I hope you have a good rest of your day, dude. We're going to move on to the next guest right now. Only up inside of that queue if you're MAGA. Only up inside of that queue if you're MAGA. I'd appreciate that. And honestly, bro, let me know down below in that chat if you happen to be a Trump supporter, okay? All right, because I don't know. We're definitely looking for some, and I feel like we just can't find many. Moving on to the next guest right now, we got Ferryman loading up. Cool. Oh, Luna, I appreciate you for another 24 euro donation over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, Luna. Luna with another 24 euros says, MAGA and Trumpkin is such a huge shit show. I think I'm going to only I'm only have warm water for years because the mere sight of ice makes me puke. Luna, thank you. Thank you for another 24 euros and another good message. Show some love to Luna down below in that comment section while we got that next Trump supporter, Danny Boy, loading up in. This is definitely a Trump supporter. The pit vipers and everything, folks. This is it. This is so fun.
Yeah.
Boss.
Are you in the closet? Is that why you want to do this every day?
Are you talking to me or someone else?
You support?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You
talking
just
to
came
me.
out the closet, right?
Well, Danny,
So
I will allow you.
So
hold
you're
on.
Wait. You.
I might have to mute you. Well, it sounds like you just muted yourself because of your bad connection. I told you guys, pit vipers and everything. I said that he's
Are
a
you a
MAGA final
patriot?
boss. I'm
Are
definitely.
you a patriot? Are you a patriot?
I'm a goddamn dilly darn patriot, Danny. Do you mind if I ask you something real quick?
Okay. So no. Let me ask you the questions.
Can you disconnect
Right.
your phone from Bluetooth?
You're on a. Yeah. Give me a second.
And also, try not to violate TOS to the best of your ability. Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like there's like.
I know what they're saying.
I know like you if you want to insult me, you're good to insult me. Just make sure in insulting me, you're not violating TikTok TOS. And their TOS is pretty hard. So
What
you're gonna
I'm
have to get
getting at
creative,
is-
Danny.
You're a What I'm getting at is you're a patriot, right?
I'm a goddamn diddly damn patriot, Danny.
Okay. So what makes you a patriot?
Well, okay, yeah, because I care about core American values. I care about the prosperity of this country. I care about preventing this country from falling to tyranny, and I care about the Constitution, which underpins
Okay.
those core American values.
What has Trump done with the core values?
Sure, he's attacked the hell out of them. In December of 2022, he literally called for the termination of the Constitution. In his first day in office, January 21st, he passed an executive order number 14160 to attempt to terminate and amend the 14th Amendment illegally in violation of the 14th Amendment and of the Supremacy Clause of Article 2. On his 100-day interview, he literally told an ABC News reporter that he didn't even know if he has to hold by the Constitution. In reference to the First Amendment, he said that it's now illegal to criticize him in the media. That's an attack on free speech. In reference to the Second Amendment, he said that he wants to try to find a way, to ban any and all gun ownership for all all law-abiding trans-American citizens that is so blatantly anti-constitutional and anti-2A that even the far-right NRA spoke out against Trump and was like, no, you can't do this. He attacked the 10th Amendment by illegally deploying the National Guard in states like Illinois, leading the SCOTUS 6-3 conservative-leaning, with 3 of his own picks, by the way, to rule that as unconstitutional.
hear me out.
And he's
I
been
know what he
attacking...
did.
I'm almost done, Danny! I'm almost done, quite
Education.
frankly! I'm almost done! Quite frankly, buddy. He also attacked the 22nd Amendment with a continued resuggestion of wanting to run for a 3rd term. And, like, by the way, the list just goes on and on and on. We just see a complete disobeying of law and order, like the Epstein Files Transparency Act. He disobeyed Congress, said, fuck you, I'm not going to release these files, and when I do, they're going to be redacted to hell, illegally so, and then I'm not going to explain those illegal redactions, which, you know, disobeyed Congress and violated federal law. Then, I mean, like, same thing with the whole track record with the J6. You know, he had the domestic terrorists raid the Capitol, smear their shit on the walls, try to kill cops in the process. Then, January of last year, 2025, he actually turned around, called them all patriots, and let them out of jail. So I'd say I'm the patriot because I detest the tyranny. I'm the patriot because I detest the illegal consolidation of power. I'm the patriot because I detest infringing on our Constitution. And you're the anti-American traitor if you support any of those things, including but not limited to the various constitutional infringements I went over.
Well, what is there without
infringing on
violence?
Congress,
What
due
is
process,
world?
so on and so
What
forth.
is life without violence?
Heaven?
What is life? You gotta play. Wait, you gotta beat a wolf
Defined by the
to fight the wolf.
gotta beat a wolf to fight the wolf. Hey, are you Christian?
Am I a Christian?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay, so you're just saying that we need violence? Weirdo.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see where this goes.
Do you not see the world today? You could take your little. You
Yeah,
can take
I mean, I
a
think
kid out
I
in
agree.
public.
I agree. I
You
think
can
that
take a
sometimes
kid-
violence is necessary, but I just think that you're going to
Yes.
take that true fact and contort it into like supporting fascism.
No,
Well, like
no,
I
no,
said,
no,
that's
no,
why I
no,
said we'll
no.
see where this goes.
No, I'm saying reality, society today is not like it was 30 years ago. We didn't have a We didn't have a Democratic Party. It was just a Republican Party for a long time.
The what?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Not
Yes,
30 years
look it
ago.
up. Not 30, but I'm just basing off how old I am, right? So it's way past my age, correct?
Yeah, way back in the day, we had the Whigs.
Okay.
Then I mean, so I'm not honestly too educated on the history of this either. Then we had the Republican Party pop up. Then we had the Dixiecrat Party pop up. Then the Democrat Party pop up, so on and so forth. The Republican Party
I do a
was
lot of
older than
research,
the
but my
Democratic Party,
question
though.
is
That's
to
true.
you. Yes, I'm a blue collar worker. I do a lot of blue collar work.
Okay.
There's no hands down that's all blue collar men know is outside work. But my question is to you, why do people think that he done tax on tips and no overtime on tips? Why do you think everybody thinks it's a bad thing? Why do you think it's a bad thing?
After you respond to everything I just said, I'll happily talk to you about the big beautiful bill and the new tax provisions. That's fine, but can you
I'm
respond
not
to
even gonna lie,
everything I
bro.
just said?
You went super really fucking fast. So you're a little bit slower. I mean, I'm a little bit slower than you are talking, but look, I got on here to say left or right side, just be yourself.
Okay. Well, I mean, it seems like you're a pretty like hateful person. I mean, the first thing that you said when you joined the live is, "Oh, Dean, are you gonna come out the closet?" So, are you just saying that like base intellects are typically gay?
I mean, no, I'm not saying come out the closet like you're gay. I'm saying like, did you just come out the closet to educate yourself, to fight on TikTok? For what reason? Why are you fighting? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, because I think that Trump sucks, and we need somebody is president that honors human rights, common sense, and the Constitution / rule of law.
Okay. What's the purpose? Like,
harm reduction
man.
and life, liberty, and prosperity.
okay, so what's the difference between him fighting and you fighting on TikTok?
Well, yeah, when he fights to have his political opponents executed. When I fight, to
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. When I fight,
Well, look,
I fight for everybody to have.
I got on here to tell you, man, I'm iffy. I wanted to hear a little bit about it. I was a Trump supporter for a while. He's a businessman, and I think that now that I've watched a lot of people and their own opinions about Trump and against Trump, I'm kind of in the middle of I don't give a damn.
Okay, what's one thing Trump could do that definitely make you stop supporting them?
Great question.
Also, guys, send to the Discord. Open a private ticket. Stop spamming it in the chat, please. Still haven't gotten any private tickets. Go ahead.
He has to shoot. I mean, another ICE agent shoots another American, without papers or with papers, it's just not okay.
So 2's okay, but 3's your line.
3 strikes, you're out, right? It's like a baseball game.
Well, guess what? There's already been 3.
Has there?
Yeah.
What was the
Keith
last
Porter.
one?
Keith Porter, Renee Good, and Alex Preddy.
Oh, maybe I should have looked that up.
Mm-hmm.
When did this hit?
This has been out for a while now.
Hmm.
There's actually been 9 total. 9 total, just saying. In January. Yeah. Because you said papers or no papers. Yeah, 9.
Yeah, well.
And those are
I'm
just the ones that died. You know, we actually saw a 10th, a woman testify in Congress yesterday. She was shot by an ICE agent 5 times, doing nothing. And she lived.
I thought they weren't allowed to carry guns. I thought it was all tear gas and tear gas guns. What made them?
They carry guns. They are allowed to carry guns.
Oh, okay. That's new. It's new to my eyes.
Guys, stop spamming it in the chat and open a ticket on Discord, bro. Still no ticket.
Joe Dirt.
So
Yeah.
is that where
Right on, dude.
So you're no longer a Trump supporter?
I don't think so, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Beast! You have a good rest of your day, dude.
You kinda
Changing more minds. Chat, I'm not for sure. Let's get it here. I'm not sure that guy was following kids. By the way. Okay? Like, no one opened up a single ticket in the Discord that whole time. That's good. I'm happy that we could change his mind. That's good. Yeah, don't say that about people unless there's evidence. And I guess technically there could have been evidence that, like, no one came forward and submitted. But I'm just saying that's unlikely. You know, like, definitely, when you do say that, come with the evidence. Come on, y'all. Welcome into Sport Trump. Oh, I see Kyle left. Moving on to the next guest. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Moving on to the next guest right now. We got Joseph loading up into the box right now, y'all. Folks. We are moving on to that next Trump supporter. And, dude, I have a handful of patriots, kind viewers, to thank for their donations. You guys are being super fucking kind today. Before I do run through that, let's make sure we got the next MAGA on the live. Welcome in, Joseph. Do you support Trump? We could hear him pissing. Embarrassing. Ew. Moving on. Okay. All right. We do not want the guests to be pissing on live. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Don't piss on live, please. Thank you. Ellen, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo. I appreciate you. Same thing with you, Heather. This came in 23 minutes ago. Appreciate you for the $10. Heather with the 10 says, I have a lot of trouble debating without getting emotional, and your rhetoric is so well put together that it's helping me a lot in conversation with the maggots in my life. Oh, Heather, I also have a problem debating without getting emotional. It's taken years to overcome that. Thank you for the $10, and I'm happy that the streams are able to help you out. Same thing to you, Katie. Thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. Thank you. Thank you so much, Katie. That is Katie. Katie with the 25 says, making my civic teacher heart burst with joy and pride. Oh, man, my civics teacher from high school would hate me. He's a big old staunch Republican. So I'm happy I'm at least making one civics teacher happy. Thank you for the $25, Katie. Damien, thank you for the $5. Then Ender, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Ender, thank you so much for the love. And Ender, because I did just say your name, I'm going to keep your message to myself for privacy/security reasons. I know that you get it. Thank you so much for that. And I just want to appreciate you for your message as well. Thank you so much for the $20 donation, Ender. Show some love to ENDER down below in that comment section. Same thing to Jamie. Thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Jamie. Show some love to Jamie. Bridget, thank you for the 5. Casey, thank you for the 5. Taylor, thank you for the 5. Then Rebecca, thank you for the 5. Then Brandon, thank you so much for the $10 who says, thank you, Dean. I've listened to you a lot recently and you've opened my eyes to so many things and educated me on things I can't see because I live in rural Montana and TV only feeds me one side of things. Oh, Brandon, I know how it is. Thank you for the $10. You know, every single time I turn on my TV, it just loads up Fox News because that's kind of what we get served locally here. I get it. Thank you so much for the $10, Brandon. And then Spencer, thank you for the 5, and Adam, thank you so much for the 2. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And then a big one here. Oh my God, Jared, thank you for the $25 donation over on Venmo. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the love, Jared. And let me know down in the comment on that donation what you want to
look
talk
how much
about.
you're collecting for hating Trump.
It's quite a bit, right?
I know. Isn't that amazing?
Thank you for the $25, Jared. Go ahead.
Do you know that fetus always like scream at your broad?
What?
Do you know that fetus that you call a fetus that always like scream at your broad? It comes with different IDs.
What?
That kid that you call a fetus that always comes with different accounts and scream at your broad, like the one that put you.
Oh, yeah, fetuses that will scream on the live. Yeah, a lot of fetuses do that. Do you mind if I ask you real quick? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I love Trump.
No. Oh no. Oh no. Well, so the first thing you said is that I'm collecting a lot of money for.
Are you gonna hate me? Are you gonna hate me for loving Trump?
For loving? Yeah.
Trump, yeah, for supporting Trump.
Well, we'll get there. But the first thing that you said is that I'm making a lot of money off of hating Trump. How does that make you feel?
I'm also a gifter. I also support people that supports Trump.
Okay.
But not a hater like you.
What? How? Just tell us why you support Trump.
You're such a dirty bastard!
Oh my God. Oh my God, it's that fetus's mom. It's that fetus's mom. Oh my God, dude. That kid. Listen, I know that they're probably still listening, so I want to say this to the mom. That kid, they're going to grow up and be all right, okay? I seriously think that child is pretty dang intelligent for their age. I do. They get up here like 5 times a day, and they know exactly what to like title a name of one of their new accounts, exactly what to like set the profile picture to, the bio and everything to like increase the likelihood of like getting up onto the live stream just with their own like logical deduction of like seeing who is on the live stream. And now they're even like rapping their mom. No, I think that's a smart kid. I do. It's even though he's a troll, it's hard to hate him because of how smart I think that kid is. We're going to go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, please. We got that next guest, James, loaded up into the box. And Wendy, dude, I don't even need to click on your donation. I can just see your profile picture and I know it's you. Wendy, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you. Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you so much. Who says... this current situation is disgusting. Wendy, I could not agree more. It is good to see you. It's good to see you as always, Wendy. You're actually one of the YouTube analytics tells me who my largest viewers are, and that's you actually. You've consistently ranked number 1. So thank you so much for the $50, Wendy. Then same thing goes to you, Paula. Paula, thank you for the $50 as well. You guys are going crazy today. Show some love to Wendy and Paula down below in that comment section right now for the $50 each over on YouTube Super Chat. I appreciate y'all so fucking much. Huge shout out to Wendy and Paula down below in that comment section. Welcome in, James. Do you support Trump? Thank you so much, Wendy and Paula.
Yeah.
It's a child. Goodbye, quite frankly. Goodbye. Hello, Dirk
Well,
Funk.
this is Dirk here. I really appreciate you bringing me up. This is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so
Dirk,
much.
I have
This
a
is
question.
great.
Was Alex Preddy
Go ahead.
murdered?
You have my permission to ask a question. Go ahead.
Was Alex Preddy murdered?
Well, Alex Preddy was a domestic terrorist who was put down because he was interfering with ICE operations.
Okay, but was the shooting justified?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. John,
You
do
don't
support
commit a
Trump?
felony while you have a gun on you.
John, do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Okay, John, if you want to hop back in that queue, I'll have you up next, all right?
All right.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, first and foremost, I think that, we all see the very, disgusting and dehumanizing rhetoric from people on the right. Put down almost like a dog, right, is what this guy
Well, he's a subhuman, but yeah.
Right, so, yeah, when the state murders somebody, just call the murder victim a subhuman. Isn't that what the Nazis did?
Well, maybe. I mean, they also drank water. I mean, would you say I'm a Nazi because I drink water as well?
Well, I'd say that there's some striking similarities between what makes the Nazis wrong and what you're doing right now. See, when a Nazi would drink water, that's not something that made a Nazi a Nazi. But when a Nazi would dehumanize somebody, refer to them as subhuman to justify their execution,
absolutely,
that's definitely one of the things that would make the Nazi a Nazi.
Well, I'm saying it's subhuman to run at federal officers with a gun. That's what I'm saying is subhuman.
Yeah, and let's talk about that now. So why do you believe the shooting of Alex Preddy was justified?
Well, again, he was committing a felony while being armed, and the threat of his gun could have, caused lots of damage.
Okay, so you're saying that because he was in possession of a firearm, that's what justified him being
while
shot?
Committing a felony, correct.
Okay, what felony? Just so we know.
Well, the felony of impeding arrest, impeding activities of federal officers, that's a felony.
Okay, obstructing upon an official, the official duties of an LEO. All right, yeah, so this will be a very quick argument, Dirk Funk. So in accordance with the 2nd, 4th, 14th Amendment, as well as SCOTUS case law, it's pretty clear no LEOs cannot shoot and kill somebody.
It's pretty clear you can interfere with federal officers due to the 2nd and 4th Amendment. Is that what you're saying?
No, you'll have to let me finish in order to understand.
Go ahead.
I'll start from the top. So in accordance with the 2nd, 4th, and 14th Amendment, it's pretty clear, alongside in accordance with SCOTUS case law, most notably Connor v. Graham, as well as Felix case from last year in 2025, that no, an LEO cannot shoot and kill somebody merely for being in possession of a firearm, or for merely obstructing, or for obstructing while you're in possession of a firearm.
Got it. So show me that.
I'm still not done speaking. Looking particularly at Connor v. Graham, okay, the ruling of SCOTUS basically is that the person who the LEO is using lethal force against has to be perpetuating an imminent threat of serious bodily harm or death to the people within their immediate vicinity. So even if it was the case
which
that
they
killed him, one moment. Even if it was the case that they killed him, when you think you have a claim for obstruction, which would be him putting himself in between the woman and the ICE agent, they still wouldn't be justified. But I mean, I think that the reality is only exacerbated and proves you wrong, considering the fact that before they killed him, they had him on the ground. He wasn't actively obstructing nor resisting.
He wasn't resisting.
He wasn't
resisting. Is that? Did you just seriously say that he wasn't?
Because
resisting?
he was on the ground and unarmed. There definitely was zero imminent threat.
The Democrat cope never ceases to amaze me. He wasn't resisting, so he willfully went to the ground, put his arms behind his back, and obeyed officers' commands. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that he did the best of his ability that he could have, while being
the Democrat cope
never
ceases to
and having around 5 ICE agents swinging over his body, pulling him in every which direction. But once again, regardless,
he was
if
complying
he was
real well.
Resisting, that is completely
was Renee Good complying
if
as well?
Was justified due to the fact that he was not purporting an imminent threat of grave bodily harm or death to any of the LEOs.
Was Renee Good complying as well in your eyes?
I'll happily have a conversation with you about Renee Good as soon as we're done with our conversation about Alex Preddy.
Well,
so
I mean, now you're just like coping. I don't believe you
conversation.
believe this, by the way. I think you're saying this for your viewership and to get donations. This is called a grift. I know you don't believe this. I mean, no sane person believes that he was complying with the
Speaking of the grift,
federal
Kathy, thank you so much for the $100 over on PayPal. Let's go. Thank you so much for supporting that grift, Kathy.
Keep it coming.
Kathy with the $100 says that thank you so much for doing you. Dirk is an absolute idiot. Dang, Kathy donated $100 just to call Dirk an idiot. Thank you so much for that love, Kathy. Show some love to Kathy down below in that comment section. I'm trying to see 1,000 Kathy W's. Thank you so much. Show some love to Kathy down below. Seriously, Kathy, that is an incredibly kind $100 donation. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you for supporting the grift. Same thing to you, William. thank you for the $15
spending
donation on
money,
PayPal.
support this
Thank you for
economy,
supporting
the
that
Trump
Griff, who says,
economy.
where do you find these people? I know that you don't pay these people, but some of these guests make me really question. Dude, I know. I know. They're just seriously that fucking dumb, dude. But seriously, thank you for supporting the Griff for the $15 donation. Please show
Keep
some
it
love to Kathy
coming.
for the incredibly
Trump
kind $100
economy,
donation.
boom.
And William for the $15 donation. I appreciate y'all. Same thing to Amy. Thank you so much for the $20 suffer on PayPal to support the Griff. Amy with the $20 says, great work. Young men hear you even if they deny it. Like this guy right here. Thank you so much for the $20. That is insanely kind of you, Amy. Show some love to
Keep
Amy
it
down
coming,
below.
fellas.
Also show some love to Amy for the $10. Another Amy. Thank you so much, Amy. Elite Gunner, thank you for the one. Then Morgan, thank you so much for the $15 on PayPal, who says you're so cool. Well, thank you for supporting the Griff, Morgan. Skylar, thank you for the $10. Thank you for supporting the Griff. Ellie, thank you so much for the $15. Thank you so much for the love, Ellie. Show some love to Ellie down below in the comment section for the $15 donation to support the Griff.
Keep it
And then
coming, keep
Emily,
it coming.
thank you so much for the $35 donation on PayPal, who says for your lovely domestic terrorism. Let's go, Emily. Thank you for the $35 donation to support the Griff. Same thing to Zara for the $10 for the Griff. Darby for the $10 for the Griff. Ellen with the $10 for the Griff. Lori, thank you so much for the $25 donation, who says stop grifting me with common sense. I'm grifting you so hard right now, Lori. Jared, thank you for the $10, who says Collar is a tiny insignificant dirkhead. I appreciate you so much for the $10 to support the Griff. Austin, thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo. Show some
Evidence
love
of a
to
booming
Austin
economy
down
right
below
here.
in that comment section.
Lots of
Holy shit,
expendable
dude.
income.
That is
What a booming
incredibly
economy
kind of
we
you.
have.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to Donald
Austin
John
with the
Trump.
$50 donation on Venmo says Collar deserves an over the head wedgie. And thank you for supporting the Griff. Same thing to you, Patsy. Appreciate you for that $35 donation, who says always to support you in the grifting LMAO. Patsy, thank you so much for supporting the Griff. Show some love
W
to
economy.
Patsy down below in that comment section. Emma, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat for the Griff. John with the $10, who says, hey Dirk, when they come for you, there will be no one left to speak up. Spoiler warning. Appreciate you so much for the Truth Nuke and for supporting the Griff. And then
What was that, a
Jenna!
threat?
Holy
Was that a threat
shit!
by one of your-
Thank you so much. For you,
Is that a threat by a donor?
That's an historical saying that, of course, you wouldn't know because you're uneducated. But we got a big one here. Holy shit. Dude, fucking Jenna. Thank you so much
Jenna, what
for
a
the
beast.
$100 super chat over on
W Trump
YouTube,
economy.
quote unquote, for supporting the Griff. Jenna, you're a goddamn queen and you know it. You're in here every single
W
day,
Trump
showing up and showing
economy.
out.
Keep them coming, fellas.
Stop talking. Thank you so much
Boost
for
up
the
this
love, Jenna.
economy. Trump's economy is boom.
Hey, buddy.
Let's
Like
keep it
3 more
coming.
interruptions. I'm just going to kick you. But thank you so much for the love, Jenna. Jenna with $100. Once again, says for the Griff. Thank you so much. I mean, Jenna, you are in here every single day showing mad love. Just know that I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your kindness. And if I could please have everybody watching show some love to Jenna down below in that chat for the $100.
W Jenna.
It would mean the world. Now,
Isn't
I
this
appreciate-
beautiful? People having so much
2 interruptions left. Now, I appreciate you so much for, calling me a grifter, causing a bunch of people to donate to me. Shout out to the donors. Seriously, y'all, thank you so much. If you want to support me, you can find the Venmo and the PayPal link tree in the bottom.
I'm happy for you,
But now, let's try to go back to the debate. So, once again, where we left off, Dirk, you're interrupting me, my friend. Once again, where we left off was on you trying to say that the shooting of Alex Petty was justified because he was in possession of a firearm, and from your position, you believe that he was obstructing and or resisting. So even if that claim were to be true, that still would not warrant the use of force demonstration that we saw from the LEO agents killing him, because that's not an imminent threat to the life of the agents. That's already been adjudicated on. This is something that the NRA has been outspoken against since the shooting of Alex Petty occurred. But I want it to be clear that he was not in possession of his gun when he was killed. And I also want it to be clear, I don't think that he was obstructing at the time he was being killed. So do you now understand why the murder of Alex Petty was not justified?
Well, of course not. But I do want to say I'm a capitalist. I love seeing people make money. I'm honored I had the opportunity to get you more money. I think that's fantastic. I love seeing young fellows like yourself have some sort of some grind on the internet.
Alexa, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo.
Fantastic.
Says thank you, Dean. Thank you so
And
much
I think
for the $10,
this shows
Alexa.
how Trump's economy is booming. All of these people have so much expendable income. They're able to donate it to someone on TikTok. I think that's great. I think that's good. A good sign for things to come, So I'm not jealous if that's what you're trying to do. I know you like to do the whole grift thing for 5 minutes when somebody brings it up. I think it's a great thing, and I encourage more people to donate to you. I love seeing people make money, and I
Jacob, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Jacob. Jacob says, continue to mute this Dirk. He's fortified his privilege to be heard. I appreciate you for the $15, Jacob. As well as Jared, thank you for the $1. And April, thank you for the $10 who says, because Dirk is a pedo protector. Thank you so much, April. Show some love to April down below. And then Charles, thank you for the $10 as well. He says, if he loves it that much, we might as well keep it coming. Appreciate you for the $10, Charles. Show some love to Charles down below. And then Ellen, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. Rebecca, thank you so much for the $10. And Summer, thank you so much for the $10. Then Tammy, thank you so much for the $25 donation. I'm trying to see 300 Tammy W's. Tammy says, Dean, this guy's ridiculous. I don't know how you do it. Hope you bought a toaster. I actually did. I bought a toaster this morning. Thank you so much for the love. And then, holy shit. Oh my God. Alexa, this is fucking insane. Fucking hell. Alexa, thank you so much for the $100 donation on Venmo.
Alexa.
What the fuck? Thank you so much for the love, Alexa. Oh my God. Thank you so much for your kindness.
What a booming economy we're in.
Thank you so much for the love, Alexa. That is so incredibly kind and generous of you. There's not a bone in my body that deserves it. Dude, I want to see 1,000.
Well, if you don't deserve it, send it back then.
Now, Alexa, with the $100, says, as a transgender woman, thank you, Dean, for everything you do. I appreciate you so much. Also, Dirk, you are scum. Dude.
By the way, what is
first
a
and
woman?
Foremost,
What is a woman?
Please
by the way?
show some love to Alexa down below in that chat. Thank you for being here. And I'm sorry that you also have to put up with people like Dirk on a day-by-day basis. Thank you so much, Alexa. Now,
Alexa.
I'm going to go ahead and give some passing
Can't figure out what a
to the comments that you made surrounding like the nature of the donations, and then I will hopefully direct us back to a debate on the shooting of Alex Preddy and if it was just or unjust. So we have right now 22,000 live viewers combining TikTok and YouTube viewership. We've had a lot of people donate, but still yet the amount of people that have donated compared to the overall viewership is sub like 0.5%. It's not even like it's not even like a macroeconomic data point polling from the overall populace of the people watching the stream representative of the average, and it's definitely not a macroeconomic data point of the country at large. Not to mention that one of Trump's big things is to take money from the poor and give it to the rich. And I gotta say, like a lot of people that like really support me and like send a shit ton of money, like they're just a part of like the benevolent 1%. You know what I mean? And I appreciate them so much for the love. But anyways,
so donors,
now to get
would
back
you
on
say?
Topic with the debate. I think that it's very important that you finally respond to the points that I brought up. It kind of feels like you're deflecting away from them, and you started this
Well, you're just muting
thing. But what is your response to the set of facts that I brought up to demonstrate exactly why the shooting of Alex Preddy was unjustified? Please.
Well, I mean, your quote unquote facts are not facts at all. I mean, you just made the argument that it's completely legal to resist arrest and commit felonies while you're armed, and federal officers have no ability to stop you. I mean, that's like a ridiculous argument that nobody with a brain believes. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. Okay. And if you believe it so much, let's wait for impending court case. Let's see what the result is. I bet you also thought Rittenhouse was guilty. Like you have no idea what any of these situations mean from a legal perspective. You're very bad at understanding the overarching legality of certain situations. You're very bad at this. Like you also thought Renee Good was completely innocent. That's like a pathetic analysis of the situation.
All right, Dirk. So first, let's clear up the, like, I'd argue intentional misrepresentation of my view. So I never represented the view that it's okay or legal to obstruct upon the official duties of an LEO. I think that anyone with a brain, once again, can recognize that is illegal. I'm just simply arguing here that anybody with a brain or any background in law whatsoever can also recognize that harm has to be proportional, okay, and warranted. And merely obstructing, okay, doesn't warrant any proportionate harm in the sense of taking somebody's life, okay? And that's like a legal fact. And it's really ironic from my perspective to hear you like sitting in this live screeching about how like people deserve to die for obstructing. And then you're the one that's saying that I don't have a coherent understanding of the American criminal justice system, considering the fact that I'm the one citing you, Conner v. Graham, the SCOTUS court case, Felix, the SCOTUS court case, the 2nd, 4th, and 14th Amendment in order to warrant my position. You know, like I'm like literally quoting the Conner v. Graham court case when I'm going over the fact that we analyze the legitimacy / legal basis for an LEO involved shooting with the core assumption of, well, what would a reasonable officer, considering the totality of the circumstances, do in that same position? Like, that is me literally pulling from the Connor v. Graham court case and the Felix court case. And then when I'm talking about, well, the force has to be reasonable, it's also adjudicated on in those same court cases that that force of lethal force is only reasonable when in response to an imminent threat of serious bodily harm or death to anybody within the immediate vicinity of the person that you're killing. Okay? Right? So, like, obviously, I'm demonstrating the coherent legal basis, and you're demonstrating the incoherent worldly basis, not understanding anything whatsoever at all, because the only counter argument that you have is to misconstrue my view and attempt to confuse me saying that you can't kill somebody for obstructing to the view that therefore I think it's legally permissible to obstruct, and then B, just completely avoiding the legitimate facts that I'm bringing up surrounding the nature of these SCOTUS court cases and the Constitution, and then just positing this broad claim. Dean, even though I can't prove you are wrong, you are wrong, and anybody with a brain knows it. It's just a very cringy debate tactic. It's as old as debate itself, and I hope that this clears things up.
Well, you know all about cringy debate tactics. You're the expert in the matter. I'll defer that to you. I will say you brought up this argument about proportionality in terms of using violence against a suspect, right? Would you say trespassing is deserving of getting shot? Would you say that? Shot and killed?
Yeah, for sure.
You would say trespassing is?
I'll happily answer your question, okay? After,
but not running over an ICE
could
officer.
Respond to the basis of my claim. And no, in many scenarios,
well,
I
am responding directly to your claim, which is it. And
I'd like to clarify. I think that merely trespassing does not warrant death. No.
Oh, it doesn't, right?
The state laws resemble that fact.
So you would say Michael Byrd, the man who shot Ashley Babbitt, should be arrested for murder, correct?
No.
No, that's so weird. I didn't expect you to say that. It's almost like you're being disingenuous. That's strange.
Well, actually, if you think that he should be arrested for murder, you're being disingenuous because you're the one that said that we should wait to see what the court says. And the court said
she wasn't armed.
That Michael Byrd, the person that shot and killed Ashley Babbitt, did so in defense of the claim that I've already made because he felt reasonably, okay, that he was protecting the safety of the congressmen and women inside of the Congress building. So you'd actually be disingenuous because you're contradicting your own
standard. But not the ICE agent who was run over.
Feel free to now respond to why I said that Alex Preddy was murdered. I would like you to focus on that. It doesn't really seem like you can focus on that because, if you do focus on that, you're going to lose the debate. Prove me wrong by,
well you've already lost. It's like 30
against the set of facts in which I shared with you, insofar as why Alex Preddy was murdered. If you'd like me to repeat,
I responded directly to this.
A moment. If you'd like me to repeat the reasons why we know Alex Preddy was murdered, feel free to just ask because I think that you have a goldfish brain and you've likely forgot them following your consequential pivots.
Well, I mean, I responded directly to what you said multiple times, and you ducked and dodged and weaved and ran away from everything that I said, and you just kept muting me.
I don't think that'd be a legitimate.
Of course, it was
conversation so far. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and reshare the facts insofar as why the execution was murder. Let's just clear it up, okay? Alex Preddy was murdered because Alex Preddy was not purporting an imminent threat of death to the LEOs that shot and killed him. Why? Because he was on the ground and unarmed.
Was he resisting? Yes or no?
Was he resisting? I don't think
because before you said he wasn't resisting.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't think he was resisting arrest, but
you don't think he was resisting. Unfortunately for you, it's on video, right?
Okay.
You understand this is all on video, and anybody with 8 brain cells could see that he was resisting.
So, I mean, I think the conclusion I formed that Alex Preddy was not resisting arrest is formed by watching the video. However, regardless if he was or was not is actually irrelevant to was he purporting an imminent threat of death to the LEOs.
Really reaching for his gun while he's resisting arrest and interfering with ICE operations? He
reaching for his gun because he didn't have a gun, and his hands were pinned down by the officers.
Oh, you can't reach for the area that you kept your gun? That's not possible?
Well, you didn't say the area in which he kept his gun. You said the gun.
He thought he was reaching for his gun.
Okay, so just to make sure, you concede the claim that he was reaching for his gun because he didn't even have the gun.
When I say reaching, no, he was still reaching for his gun. Well, what do you mean?
Wait, but
even if his gun wasn't there, he was still reaching for his gun. You understand that?
No, I actually completely disagree with you because if he was reaching for his gun, okay, well then he'd like.
You don't understand that is a logically valid sentence? You don't understand that?
Yeah, no, I dispute it. I think that is logically invalid because his gun was not there, therefore he wasn't.
Is English your?
But I will ask you, can you give me any evidence that he was reaching for where his gun was?
Yeah, again, unfortunately for you, it's on video. You can see him reaching for his holster. And luckily, an ICE agent was quick enough to take it off his body, which is fantastic.
Can you please show me that
Luckily,
video?
These ICE agents are trained perfectly and they were able to.
Can you please show me that video?
Well, how about you pull it up? You have the screen sharing capabilities, no?
Yeah. I just want to know what.
Yeah, go
video
ahead,
you want me to
pull it up. Well, pull up the video of when the crying, dramatic woman is behind Alex Preddy, this saint, the Democrat saint, the one who kicks ice cars and spits on federal officers, the saint that you guys have built up.
But by the way, just expect this, out of the Trump supporters on the stream for everybody watching at home. They don't really care about life, if that makes any sense. They live a very hateful existence, and they make sure to demonstrate that every
Not
single
for domestic
chance they have the
terrorists, I
ability.
don't.
1 second. I'm just going to have you put a bubble in it just because I'm speaking. I appreciate that. They live a very hateful, bigoted driven existence where every day is a new, is there anybody else that I could bring down? Is there anybody else that I could defame? Is there anybody else that I could hate just as much as I hate myself? You know what I mean? That's the mindset that many Trump supporters, including this guest, live in. And it's also trying to bait a reaction out of me and a reaction out of you. So let's just try to stick on the facts here because that's what he wants that baited reaction to avoid. On the screen right now, we're going to go to pull up a video of the execution of Alex Preddy. We're going to go to get that front and center right now. And according to the guest inside of this video, Alex Preddy reaches for his gun, and that is what warrants his execution. I'm also going to quickly make sure that this video is accessible over on YouTube. So give me 1 moment to do that. What you're seeing right now is me messing with my OBS to make sure it's accessible on YouTube. Perfect. It is now accessible on YouTube. Let's go ahead and roll the clip. And just so we could ensure that we see him reach for his gun, as Dirk would suggest we will, we're going to go ahead and put it in 0.25 speed. Okay. At this point in time, we see a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ICE agents holding Alex Preddy.
Not resisting at all, by the way. Not resisting at all.
We see what looks to be an ICE agent in the back grabbing his left leg.
He's complying 100%.
So we could evaluate this footage for compliance. After we evaluate this footage for your claim, which was he was grabbing for his gun, reaching for his gun. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here because this is a very important moment of time in the video of Alex Preddy's death. What you will witness is right in front of you. Dirk, can you actually see that man wearing the gray sweatshirt?
I can.
And can you see
I've
his
got
right
20/20
arm?
vision, Dean.
Can you see his right arm?
I can. You know what? I can see it, actually. It's
And
fantastic.
where's his right arm?
The only thing is I can't see Alex Preddy from this view.
Okay. You can see his lower body. Where is this agent?
Well, I could see his foot. I could see his feet.
Yeah, you could see his waist.
You could
and
see his
torso
arms
as
from
well.
this. You could see his arms. You have X-ray vision. That's interesting.
So I said that you could see his
I
lower
learned
body.
something new about you every day.
Hey, Dirk. Are somebody's
Yeah.
arms a part of their lower body?
Well, we're trying to see if he reached for his gun.
No. I said
No? Oh,
that we
okay.
could see
I thought that's
his
the
lower
point of you
body.
bringing this up.
One moment. I said that we could see his lower body, and then
Well, his
you
feet.
claimed that I was claiming I could see his arms. So answer the
Well,
question.
I wouldn't say your
Are a
feet
person's
is like your
arms
lower
part
body.
of their lower
Feet
body?
is part of your lower body, but I
Well,
wouldn't say you
hey,
see his lower body.
One moment. Are a person's arms a part of their lower body?
You know what, Dean? I don't think they are. I haven't taken a biology class since.
Okay, well, thank you so much for conceding that as a very stupid comment to make. But anyways,
Yeah, but you
let's go
said
ahead
you
and
see his
continue to play
lower
the
body.
footage.
You only see his feet right here, but okay,
Nope,
go ahead.
Nope. You see his feet, and then you see his torso.
Wait,
This
where's
becomes more
his
clear.
torso? Go highlight his torso. Oh, now you could see it. Now
Yeah,
that
for
the
sure.
ice
Right
agent's
back.
moving away. Well,
the
you know
torso.
he wasn't there. You know he wasn't moving before. You understand that? He was sitting right there, where your thing is where your cursor is circling.
So you could see his torso in the frames before. But anyways,
No, you couldn't.
this is
Wait, go back a couple of frames.
you could. But anyways,
Prove Dirk right. Go ahead.
okay. Yeah, I'll prove me right, because here's a frame that I paused on. This outline right here would be that of his butt, meaning that you could see his torso. I just proved myself right. But anyways, going back to where we were paused. Okay. Now we could clearly see his torso, and this screen still right here is very important because this is where you could see the arm of the agent wearing the gray sweatshirt pulling Alex's gun out of his waistband.
Right. Thank God for that, by the way. Reach.
At that moment in time, Alex Preddy is dead.
No, he's not dead at this time. What are you talking about?
Sorry. At that moment in time, Alex Preddy is unarmed. And then at that moment in time, Alex Preddy is dead.
Yeah, he's unarmed, and then he reached, and then he fucked around and found out.
So I'm going to go frame by frame. I want you to tell me when to pause where we could see him reaching, okay?
Sure. Go ahead.
Say pause.
Okay. Pause.
Okay, where can we see him reaching?
Well, there's actually another angle at this moment where you could see his right hand is reaching for his holster. So I don't think this is the correct video, but this is the moment that he reached.
But you said that you could see him reaching in this video.
Well, maybe you know what? I'm only right 99% of the time. There is that 1% where I may actually have a mistake in my memory.
So you can't see him reaching in this video, to be clear.
Well, not this angle. There is a video of him reaching for his holster.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you said that we could see him reaching in that video, and you just conceded that we can't see him reaching in that video.
Well, not this specific angle, I don't think.
Okay.
But there's absolutely
that's the
angles where
angle that
you
you told
see
me
him
to
reaching.
play.
Well, again, I said I'm only right maybe 99% of the time. That 1% slippage, you seem really affected by that.
Well, I mean,
but again,
clarifying. Like, can we agree that that was the angle that you asked me to play?
Oh, it was. I'm not blaming you for pulling up this clip. I already admitted that I'm only right 99% of the time.
I was gonna get that next guest up here. Oh my God, yeah, Dirk's one of the worst. We bring him up here every like blue moon just to shit on. Wait, we got Law of the Wild in. What's up, Law of the Wild? Did you want to talk to Dirk? Hello?
I did. Now that he's gone, I will go. But
oh no, bro! I'll bring Dirk. I just kicked him. If Dirk hops back in that queue, I'll bring him up here to talk to you. He is. I'll let you talk to Dirk. I'd like to see that conversation.
Hey, Law of the Wild. Are you some sort of like libtard lawyer who defends domestic terrorists? Is that your job?
Okay. Well, Dirk. The first thing I'm gonna ask you to do is to refrain from using variants of the R word on my live stream. Okay.
Well, under Trump's America, we could say that now. By the way, I don't know if you got that note.
Just not in Dean's stream, okay? Because that's the ground rule. Either you accept it and talk to Law of the Wild.
All right, go ahead, lawyer.
Don't accept it. So I just want to make sure that you are accepting that as a rule, correct?
Well, I won't say it again. I promise you, Dean. I promise. I'm on my knees, promising you. I won't say
you're accepting that
the
rule.
big bad L word.
Good.
The big bad L word that strikes fear in so many.
Yeah,
go ahead, lawyers.
I mean, I think that this
Let's see what you got.
I think that this is a decent place where we don't use variants of the R word. But go ahead, Law of the Wild.
Well, you didn't grow up in Xbox 360 days. Okay, go ahead, lawyer.
all right. So I think we've established that at the time Preddy was shot, he was disarmed, right? You don't disagree with that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So what threat of death or great bodily harm can somebody who's disarmed pose to law enforcement?
Well, I mean, I think it is a matter of the perceived threat. I'm surprised I have to tell a lawyer this. That's interesting. Well, I mean, being that you are like some lawyer who defends domestic terrorists, I'm not completely surprised.
I'm actually going to go pee real quick, guys. I'll be right back.
The fact that these federal officers perceived the threat due to the fact that he had a confirmed firearm on him and he was resisting arrest and committing multiple different felonies at once was the reason that they were able to put him down. I mean, this is pretty simple stuff here. You're a lawyer?
Yes. So how can an officer perceive the threat when they watch him being disarmed right in front of their face?
So you know that they all saw him get disarmed? Do you know that for a fact?
It literally happened right. The two officers that fired, the agent that took the gun, it literally happened right in front of their face.
Well, you understand we watched that video at 0.25% speed, right? You understand that 0.25 times speed? You know?
Yep, I understand that.
Wait, hold on. Just to be clear, you understand that and you're still giving this argument.
I understand that, but here's the thing. What you're arguing is not that the shooting was justified. You're arguing that there was a reasonable mistake.
A reasonable mistake does not constitute murder. You understand that?
Yeah, I didn't say that it was
Well, that's
murder.
what Dean is arguing, right?
Yep,
You know that?
Dean is arguing that it's
Okay,
murder.
so you would admit on this live that Dean is wrong and he's misguided, correct?
I would not admit that. I would
Why
say
not?
that
Well, you just admitted that to me. Why can't you admit it when he comes back?
Okay, let me finish my sentence and then you can respond.
Go ahead.
I would not argue that it was murder because there needs to be proof that that there was an intent to kill, and there has to be no defenses. I have to go with legal definitions. I'm a lawyer in Minnesota. I'm a lawyer in Minnesota, so I'm precluded from making those types of judgments. A member of the public can absolutely come to any conclusion that they want. And all that a murder in the second degree is that it is an intent to kill without justification.
Okay, so Dean, did you hear that? Do you think it's murder, Dean?
Yeah, what I heard is a lawyer explain that they could lose their bar card if they were to say that it was murder, especially considering the fact that he's actually barred in the same state that this occurred. That's what I heard. And I think that's
reasonable. Not what he said.
And I also think the way that Law of the Wild said it, let me interpret what the Law of the Wild said there. I think the way that Law of the Wild said it is also very meaningful, because what he said is, I can't say it's murder until they could prove intent in court. Not that they could prove it's unjustified in court. Yeah, of course I think it's murder, because an argument for the notion that it was unintentional would be to argue that the agent unintentionally reached for his gun, unintentionally grabbed his gun, unintentionally pulled out his gun, unintentionally pointed the gun at Alex Preddy, then unintentionally pulled the trigger. But there's actually one thing that I heard that I really want to
hold on, lawyer.
No.
Lawyer,
There's actually,
is he right?
Oh, we got to let him calm down, guys.
Lawyer, is he right?
We got to let him calm down, everybody.
You're spreading fake.
If your calm down exceeds 30 seconds, I'm going to kick you. Like seriously. You just need to be able to regain composure in under 30 seconds. You're losing hard. To stay here. Nope, just because I want to be able to speak.
But you just said lies.
I'm sure that you understand.
You just said lies. You just said something.
Okay, all right. Well, feel free to prove my lies wrong once I'm done.
Well,
I'm not ending right this moment.
I'm asking the lawyer friend.
You have like 10 seconds left, my dude. I think that he's gonna run the clock, so I do kick him because he knows he's cooked. Never mind. It looks like he regained self-composure. So, anyways, here's the really important thing that I want to hone in on here, because when I leave to use the restroom, if you could tell, I unplug this mic. And I also connect the audio of the stream to speakers so I could just still hear what's going on in case, somebody does some crazy shit. Okay, it's my live stream. And I heard this guest say that he actually conceded to Law of the Wild that it was a reasonable mistake. But see, this is the opposite of what he said starting the conversation. Starting the conversation, he did not say that it was an unfortunate yet reasonable mistake that led to the death of Alex Preddy. He said that Alex Preddy was a domestic terrorist who got what he deserved. He said that Alex Preddy was a domestic terrorist who was justifiably put down by the ICE agents. So
thank God.
I know that you're a complete idiot, so I'll spell it out to you. The sentiment that Law of the Wild was able to get your ass on, it was a reasonable mistake, not a justified shooting, just a reasonable mistake, okay, is
you understand a reasonable mistake can still be justified, right?
And contradicted to the notion, okay, that Alex Preddy got what he deserved. Or
he did.
But how could it be the case that he got what he deserved if you're also thinking in the same breath that it was a reasonable mistake?
Well, you're under the impression for some reason that reasonable mistake is mutually exclusive with justified.
Well, I think that reasonable mistake is mutually exclusive with him deserving it. Like, if you're going to argue...
he did deserve it.
How can you argue that he deserved to die if it was a reasonable mistake?
He provoked it, that's why.
So he provoked them into committing a reasonable mistake?
Yes, by resisting arrest and committing felonies while armed, yes.
All right, so a couple of things. Oh, wow, that was wild. So a reasonable mistake does not turn an unjustified shooting into a justified shooting. It is a defense for an unjustified shooting. So meaning that you can't be held criminally responsible for a reasonable mistake. So it doesn't mean that the shooting was justified, because there's no situation where an unarmed person who can't pose a threat of death or great bodily harm can be justifiably killed. There is the argument would be if the officers could say, well, I didn't see it, or, I didn't know, or I thought he had a second gun, whatever there are.
That's called being justified. You understand that? I mean, I don't know what law school you went to. I didn't go to law school, by the way, but if you look up the definition of justified, it's very, very simple. Having done for or marked by a good or legitimate reason. Oh, I don't know, maybe having a suspect wrestling with me with a firearm that I think they have on them. I believe that's a good or legitimate reason to take them out, don't you think?
Okay, so if there was a murder 2 charge, it would be the allegation would be an unjustified killing. That's what would happen. All that you need to do to prove murder 2 is an intent to kill, and that it was unjustified. His defense to
without
that
a good reason to kill them
would be that there was a reasonable mistake that he was armed. Now they haven't said this. This is I'm steel manning your argument that there was.
Well, that's why you're making sense. Yeah, you're steel manning my argument. The one time you make sense.
Hey, Dirk, I've counted 15 interruptions from you over Law of the Wild, and I've counted 0 interruptions from Law of the Wild over you.
Which is surprising because he's a lawyer. That's his job.
So do you think that you could stop interrupting him?
Well, I mean, I'm having friendly banter with this guy. But go ahead, lawyer. Go ahead.
Okay, but can you make that acknowledgement? Can you stop interrupting him?
You know what? I'll stop interrupting him. Go ahead, lawyer.
Good boy.
So, yeah, so it's a defense. So all that they need to do is prove that there was an intent to kill, and pulling a trigger at somebody satisfies that element. You intended to kill them. And then that there was not justification for that. So a justification would be like a self-defense claim, something along those lines. That would be a justified element to overcome an unjustified killing. There is no argument that shooting somebody who is unarmed and not posing an active threat is a justified. It's unjustified, but the defense is a reasonable mistake. That's what you're arguing with. And so it's completely incompatible with your argument that he deserved it because he posed an active threat. If somebody who's disarmed cannot pose an active threat.
Okay, let me give you a scenario, lawyer. Let's say I am walking up to 2 officers and I have a gun in my hand, very readily visible. And the millisecond that I drop the gun, I hold the gun out and I drop it. The millisecond I drop the gun, officers shoot me. Is that justified? Yes or no? I'm pointing the gun at them, but I release it from my hands. But that millisecond after I get shot, is that justified or no? Because technically I'm unarmed. It wasn't in my hand at the time. Would you say that's murder and unjustified?
It's not. It wouldn't be unjustified because they would have been justified to use deadly force at the time.
Even though he was unarmed?
Right, because they were already justified, and there's not enough time for officers to realize that the firearm no longer posed a threat. If you're talking about a millisecond.
Now you're making sense.
About 1 to 2 seconds when the gun was removed from the person right in front of their face, and they never presented that firearm as a threat. That's an entirely different scenario. So you did create a wonderful straw man there for you to attack, but it's not what we saw before our own eyes.
Okay, so just to be clear though, if it's 1 millisecond,
I'm actually just going to hop in here as well.
If it's 1 second,
it's not. What Law of the Wild said there. So Law of the Wild's response just kind of went over like reasonable reaction times. But I want to add on there that there's a really big difference between the hypothetical scenario that you just reported and what is like true of Alex Preddy. Because in this hypothetical scenario, you supported an idea of a legitimate threat to the LEOs, which would be somebody like pulling a gun and pointing it at them. Okay, right? That would be an imminent threat to their lives. And I honestly think that your use of this hypothetical is an implicit concession that Alex Preddy did not purport an imminent threat to their lives, because where was Alex Preddy's gun before it was taken from him? Merely in a holster. Okay? Right? And as we already went over at the beginning, it does matter. It does matter.
Of course it does.
There's case law on this subject, dude. You are dumb.
Oh, there's case law.
Yes, there's case law on this
All right,
matter.
so I could just walk up to federal
Courts have ruled
with the
that
gun and
merely being in possession of a firearm, okay, is not, okay, an imminent threat. Now, if you are brandishing that firearm, pointing that firearm at them, then it does become an imminent threat. But that's no longer mere possession. So mere possession, like having it holstered on your hip like Alex Preddy, is not an imminent threat, and courts have already ruled on that. Can you please
Well, you guys are
concede
making the argument
your
that
last
he was
claim when you stated that the way in which that firearm is being possessed does not matter? Can
Well, you
concede
guys
that?
are making the distinction.
I don't want to hear while you guys. I want to hear a yes or no. Can you concede that or not?
Well, again, you guys were saying that armed versus.
I don't want to hear you guys yes or no. Can you concede that claim or not?
Well, again, you guys were saying armed versus.
I don't want to hear you guys. I want to hear a yes or a no.
Well, again, you guys were saying armed versus unarmed is the biggest distinction.
Can you please answer my question?
Well, why are you not responding to what I was? You interrupted me to ask a silly question. Can you
now
answer
you're
my
trying to find
question
a way
first?
so now you're trying to find a way to run away from it. Stop running away, Dirk. Okay.
I'm
It's
explaining
clear.
the reason.
You just said that
Well,
it
you keep
didn't matter.
You're the one, right?
Okay.
clear
If
you're
that gun was
constantly
being
muting.
brandished and pointed in the direction of the LEO or being merely holstered, I then told you it absolutely does matter. There's case law on the subject matter. When it's merely being held in possession, okay, like in a holster around your waist, you're not purporting an imminent threat. Courts have already ruled that it is murder if an LEO kills you in that circumstance. I just want you to concede that claim when you said that it doesn't matter where that gun is on one's body, or if it's being brandished or not, being pointed at them or not. I want you to concede that that is absolutely relevant.
Well, it's absolutely not in terms of the analogy I just gave, because you guys were using the argument the fact that he was unarmed is the reason this was unjustified. I was simply bringing up that analogy not because it pertains exactly to the pretty situation, but because it proves that simply being unarmed doesn't mean it's unjustified. I'm surprised I have to explain this to you. This is a very simple analogy. It's kind of surprising you needed that spelled out for you, but that's the reason I brought it up. I never said it was completely identical to the pretty situation.
So I'm surprised that I have to explain this to you. But my first comments were to go over that, Law of the Wild down here brought up a reasonable/unreasonable reaction time. But then I was building on top of that because something that Law of the Wild left out there is that even if his gun wasn't taken away from him seconds before he was shot and killed, it wouldn't matter because it was merely being held in possession.
What if he was reaching for it?
Let's just see if we could clear things up. Can we
just said it
agree that when you
just
are
said it wouldn't
merely
matter.
in possession of
said
a
it-
firearm, okay, that absolutely matters and that LEOs do not have justification to kill you?
All right, so you want to get owned again? You just said
I either want a concession or a rejection of
wouldn't
the
have
premise
mattered if he.
that merely being in possession of a firearm does not give a substantial reason to an LEO to kill you. Do you affirm
Right.
that premise?
What
or
if
do
he
you
was
reject that
reaching for
premise?
it?
I don't want a one if.
Well,
I want
no,
an
I agree with
affirmation or a
that. Simply
rejection.
being.
Okay.
I
So
agree
you
with
affirm
that.
that
Simply
premise?
being in possession of a firearm doesn't mean that you get a shot. That's
okay.
correct.
So then you affirm, okay, that Alex Preddy's firearm is not what gave good reason to
Well,
the
that's
officers
not
to kill
what-
him.
that's not the
okay?
situation.
You affirm
being decided.
that merely obstructing is not what gave the officers good reason to kill him. Okay.
Resisting
And then your
arrest.
earlier argument, okay, that this man was somehow reaching for his gun. Okay, well, you affirm that you cannot substantiate that position because you asked me to play video of the shooting from the woman's perspective, wearing the pink sweatshirt in the back, and inside of that video clip, it very clearly did not show Alex Preddy reaching for any gun, and you even conceded on that. So, insofar as our conversation goes to right now, do you concede that you've presented zero evidence, okay, that Alex Preddy's shooting was either justified or a reasonable mistake?
Well, I think we all saw in the video he was resisting arrest violently against federal officers while he was armed.
So
and the
that's what
fact
made
that
them
these
reasonably
agents
mistake?
were. Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, getting
So
in the middle of
resisting
a
arrest
federal
means you could shoot
operation-
someone?
while you're armed and you're
Wait, but
being
we've already
violent,
gone over
yes,
that.
of course.
We've already gone over that. Merely being in
course.
possession of a firearm or merely being in possession of a firearm and resisting arrest does not purport an imminent threat. And by the way, this notion that it would purport an imminent threat would yield the conclusion that his shooting was justified, but you're actually holding to the conclusion that it wasn't that it wasn't necessarily justified insofar as the reason being that he was purporting an imminent threat, but rather because it was a reasonable mistake. So Dirk, you're actually the one that's quite confused. Do you think that his shooting was a reasonable mistake because they thought he was reaching for his gun that he didn't have, or do you think that a shooting was justified because he was resisting violently, quote unquote, while being in possession of a gun? Which one, Dirk?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I'm surprised I have to spell this one out for you.
Which
as
one,
well.
Dirk? Was it
Saying
a
that it's
reasonable mistake or a
simply
justified
means that
shooting
the
because he was
officers
reporting an
thought that
imminent
he had a
threat?
gun when he didn't. Right?
Yo-
It's a reasonable mistake
but
to
see,
assume
the
that
thing
he's...
is that wasn't your last argument, because your last argument is that he's violently
Yes, it was. You just
resisting
weren't
while being in possession of a firearm, and that's what gave them good reason to kill him because
did.
there's an imminent threat being purported. But it can't be those two things at once. Was it a reasonable mistake because they thought that there's an imminent threat being purported, but they were reasonably wrong? Or, okay, was it a justified shooting because he truly was purporting that imminent threat? Which one, Dirk?
Both. I already said before it's not mutually exclusive.
Wait, those two things are mutually exclusive. Because if you listen to the words that just came out of my mouth, then you would have understood that under the framework that it was a reasonable mistake, it entailed that he wasn't actually reaching for any gun that could kill them because he didn't have it. They just reasonably mistook that fact. However, under the second view, that it was not a reasonable mistake, but rather justified for the reason that he truly was purporting a real and legitimate threat, those two things are mutually exclusive. Because in scenario one, he's not actually purporting that legitimate threat, but they just reasonably think he is and they're mistaken. But in scenario number two, he is legitimately purporting that imminent threat. So you, sir, are dumb and wrong. Those two things are mutually exclusive and can't be true at the same time.
Of course they can. You're just not following. I don't know.
This guy's an idiot.
Much smarter than that.
Dirk, listen to the words that are coming out of our mouth. Can he be purporting an imminent threat and not purporting an imminent threat simultaneously?
Tell me what justified means.
No, you're not answering my question. Can he be purporting an imminent
you understand
threat
English.
and not purporting an imminent threat
I'm just
simultaneously?
making sure you understand English.
Sure, you could do that after you answer my question.
You're thinking
can
this
he,
is
Can he
mutual-
really be purporting an imminent threat while simultaneously not really be purporting an imminent threat
How do you not
simultaneously?
get this? How do you
Your
not
answer is
understand
yes?
this? Yes, obviously.
You just affirmed that contradictions can be true. I literally just, dude, oh my God. You just affirmed that contradictions can be true. You just said that A can be true and false simultaneously. All that I said, can it be true that he was purporting an imminent threat and false that he was purporting an imminent threat simultaneously? And you said yes. You just said that contradictions can be true. Hey, Dirk, define the word contradiction.
It can be a reasonable mistake and justified.
No. Define the word contradiction.
Well, now you're pivoting. I mean,
no, this isn't a pivot because this is what I'm saying that you just engaged in. You just said that contradictions can be true, so I want to make sure that you even understand what a contradiction is, insofar as you understanding what my argument is. So it's not a pivot because it is essential for you to understand what my argument against your position is. Define contradiction.
You do this for a living and you can't even follow a very simple concept?
You're the one that just affirmed a contradiction, stop the projection, and define the word contradiction.
You're pivoting so hard right now.
I've already explained why it's not a pivot. I understand that you probably need it explained to you twice, so I got you. The reason why me asking you what a contradiction is not a pivot is because my argument is stating that you are affirming a contradiction, therefore your view is necessarily false, but I think that you're a really dumb guy and you likely don't even know what a contradiction is. So this is an essential, necessary, clarifying question about the position in which I'm using to defeat your view. So once again, Dirk, tell me what a contradiction is.
Yeah, saying it's justified and
No, muting because you're not answering my question. Define contradiction.
Yeah, again, saying it's justified.
You're not telling me what the definition of a contradiction is. Dirk, define contradiction.
You're pivoting so hard.
Once again, this is the third time that you've accused me of pivoting. The third time I'll repeat the response insofar as why it is not a pivot. The reason why me asking you what a contradiction is, Dirk, you're not going to be able to hear me. You're not going to be able to hear me if you're speaking over me. Pipe down, bud. I'm trying to explain to you how it's not a pivot. You're lashing out like a child. You're going la 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 la. If I talk while he's speaking, he'll never be able to make a point.
Who's the one worked up?
Thank you, Dirk. The reason why me asking you to define what a contradiction is not a pivot, is because my counter argument against your position is that your position is a contradiction, therefore it's necessarily false. And of course, you understanding what a contradiction is necessarily important for our conversation to continue. That is why it is not a pivot, but rather related to the argument by its own nature. So once again, what is a contradiction?
Yeah, so again, your lack of comprehension makes it...
I'm sorry. I muted you because of the terrible ad hom. Just start without an ad hom. Just tell me what you think a contradiction is.
Sure, what does the word justifiable mean?
Sure, after you tell me what the word contradiction is. That's a pivot.
Well, you asked this question after I asked you.
Okay. No, I'm asking you this question now because you affirmed a contradiction, and that's debatable.
You pivoted into this.
All right, Dirk. I've already explained 3 times how it wasn't a pivot. Here's the 4th and final time I will explain to you how me asking you what a contradiction is not a pivot. My argument against your position has affirmed that you are saying contradictions can be true. Okay, any view in which would affirm that contradictions can be true are necessarily false because contradictions are always false. The reason why this question, what is a contradiction, is not a pivot is because it is essential for you to understand the position I'm using to prove your argument wrong. Now that you have nowhere to run to, now that you have no more claims of no more pivots, I'm going to ask you to define that word. Define the word contradiction now that you've had a minute or two to look it up on Google.
Okay. All right. So you know what? I'll admit this. I did look it up on Google, but I'll answer the question just to make sure we're both whole. The definition of contradiction: dodging and shifting. Rather than directly answering a potentially damaging question, the speaker pivots to a topic they prefer to discuss. Strategic reorientation. The speaker uses a bridge phrase to connect the moderator's question to their preferred topic, creating a quote-unquote pivot point. Controlling the agenda. It allows candidates to keep the focus on their core message, even when asked about uncomfortable or unexpected subjects.
Okay, stop describing what you're doing and define the word contradiction. I don't know how to help you, Dirk. You're going to need to define the word contradiction.
All right, give me one more second to find another example. Hold on.
That wasn't the definition of the word contradiction.
Hold tight.
You're just literally naming off different logical fallacies. The dude just literally looked up logical fallacies and then just started reading them off.
No, it's the definition of a...
I think it's because he doesn't know how to spell the word contradiction.
You didn't even get the joke. Wow, that's bad.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a joke. That is true.
You think I was naming logic?
Here's the last chance you have to tell me what a contradiction is. So.
Okay, go. All right, 1 second. It's a cognitive bias where people with limited knowledge or competence in a particular domain greatly over...
Dude, I fucking owned you, Dirk. I fucking owned you.
That's the Dunning-Kruger.
I'm your daddy,
you
Dirk.
Are experiencing.
I'm your fucking daddy. I'm your biological father. I fucking owned you. Get the hell out of here. We're going to move on to the next guest. Get absolutely, completely owned. Just absolutely destroyed. Okay? Completely destroyed. Oh my God. Unfathomably owned. He refused to define what the word contradiction meant. By the way, folks, if you ever find yourself in a position where somebody is stun locking your argument into the affirmation of a contradiction and you can't argue otherwise, you're as fucked as you can be. You cannot get more fucked in a debate than forced into arguing that a contradiction can be true. You can't get more fucked than that. So just insane own. Probably top 5 ever. Now, Law of the Wild. I'm sorry that you didn't get to have too long of a conversation with him. I just had to take the reins there and really set him down.
No, you're good. I set the pins up and you knocked them the fuck down. So good job.
I appreciate you for coming up as always, dude.
Anytime. Take care.
Take care. All right, we're going to get that next guest loaded up into the box. Absolute decimation, man. Unreal, dude. Moving on to the next guest, we got Chelsea loading up into the box, folks. Make sure if you're inside of that queue that you are an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. I also got a whole lot of y'all to thank for your kindness. Luna, thank you so much for the 12 euros over on YouTube Super Chat. Who says, caller ignores the fact that Pretty had his phone in his right hand until pinned to the ground. Clear proof that he had no intention that he could draw a pew pew. Yeah, because his hand was busy. Thank you for the facts. Thank you so much for the $11, Luna. Same thing to Nicholas. Thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Show some love to Nicholas down below in that chat, folks. Show some love to Nicholas. Nicholas says, this is nonsense. Even granting the argument that he is reaching, he has no bearing on imminent threat of life with his weapon removed. Use of lethal force has nothing to do with what a subject might do given the means. Yep, absolutely true, Nicholas. Thank you for the $20. You guys are being so fucking kind today. Show some love to Nick down below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're also now going to go ahead and check out Venmo and PayPal if you do want to support me. You can find my Venmo and my PayPal down below in the link tree in my bio on TikTok, pinned message on YouTube, and the handle's also at the top of the phone screen. Alternatively, while we're doing that, we're also going to be looking for that next guest. We got a Mitch loading up in. Bethany, thank you so much for the $3 over on Venmo. Olivia, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. Who says, yesterday was my 22nd birthday. I also made a shitty anxiety pin font edit. I need to transfer it to my phone, but you should definitely take a listen. Dude, listen, Olivia, post it on TikTok and tag me in it. Happy 22nd birthday, my friend. Let's get 200 Olivia W's and show some love to her for her birthday yesterday. AG, thank you for the $10. She says, for someone who cannot follow an argument, everything is a pivot. Thank you for all that you do. Well, I appreciate you for the $10, AG, and you're absolutely correct. Those are words of wisdom. Jocelyn, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. And, hey, if Miss Carter's watching, shout out to you in your class. Huge shout out to Miss Carter. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for the $10, Miss Carter. Mary, thank you so much for the $10 as well. You says, happy Wednesday, Dean. I'll catch the MAGA roast in the morning. See you tomorrow, Mary. Thank you for the $10. Juliana, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Who says, this guy's what happens when the most unfunny class clown in middle school gets older but doesn't grow up. Yep, thank you for the $10. Kelly, thank you for the $5. Jacob for the $10 as well. Show some love to Jacob. And then Tess, thank you so much for the $10 as well. Thank you so much, Tess. And I'll take a look at that video. Lake, thank you for the $25. Holy shit, you guys are going crazy today. I'm trying to see 300 Lake W's. Thank you for your support. So Lake says, quote, Trump supporters hate themselves, which is why they project hate onto others, end quote, are synonyms of complex PTSD. Their media, religion keeps them in a continual trauma response. Their brains consistently choose fight mode, not an excuse, but a reason. I'm sure that you're correct. Like, it is crazy just how, psychologically brain rotted a lot of them are because of these imperatives in the mainstream. Appreciate you for the $25, Lake. Then Nicholas, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo, who says, even if reaching for where his gun was, if taken away, means nothing because there's no gun there. Imminent credible threat is not what the person might do given the same time, tools, or resources. There's so many violent criminals in prison who were safely subdued, who would have loved to murder LEOs. Yep, absolutely true, Nicholas. Thank you for the $20. And then Haley, thank you for the $20 as well. You says, ask the guests if J6 MAGA complied, and if they didn't comply with a law enforcement, should they have been murdered? Well, he's gone now, or else I would have loved asking that question. Thank you for the good question and the $20 donation. Show some love to Haley. Then Tony and Christina, thank you for the $5. Jonathan, thank you so much for the $10. And then Nicholas, thank you for another $20. Nicholas with another $20 says, I hear you encounter this often. Committing a felony while in possession of legally concealed carry only amplifies criminality and may affect your permit standing. The permit and possession have no bearing on the threat you pose at any given moment. Absolutely true, Nick. I think that you put it into really good words. I'll probably be using that in the future. Thank you so much for the $20, Nicholas. Christine, thank you for the $10, who says, on behalf of high school students in Texas to protest I stay strong, use your voice. Thank you, Christine. Hannah, thank you for the $15, who says, been listening for years now. I have never been so sick to my stomach listening to your guests until they start trying to justify murder. I don't know how you do this all day. Yeah, dude, it's hard, Hannah, and it should make any good person sick to their stomach. Thank you for the $15. Same thing to BL. Thank you for the $10, who says, Dean, out of all your grifts, your gift is the best gift given to you, not because of Trump's economy, but in spite of it. You know, that is so fucking true, BL. Thank you for the $10. And then Stacy, thank you so much for the $20 donation over on Venmo. In fact, this is our last donation on Venmo that we have to catch up with from 46 minutes ago. Stacy says, Trump is a PDF. Thank you for the truth nuke and the $20. And then, oh my God, this literally just came through. Miss fucking Ann. Holy shit. Ann, thank you. Thank you so much for the $200 donation on PayPal. That is fucking insane. And with the $200 donation says, as a French Canadian American, I'm so grateful for everything that you do. And from Quebec, ladies and gentlemen, Ann will come in here like every couple weeks and just make it rain with some crazy ass donation. And I know that you already know this because I say this to you every time, but I'm going to say it again. I'm so thankful for you. I do not deserve that much money. Not many people do. And thank you from the bottom bottom of my heart for your kindness and your generosity. It is just insane, the outpour of support that we see on these streams. And I'm just so grateful for you and everybody else. I'd really appreciate it if everybody watching can please show some love to Ann in that comment section. Once again, that is ANN. Same thing goes for Philip. Thank you for the $30 donation over on PayPal, who says, it is so amazing to watch Dirk argue against the Second Amendment. Also, Trump is a P3O. I know, all of a sudden conservatives hate guns and the Second Amendment. What happened? Thank you for the $30, Philip. Same thing with you, Jose. Thank you for the $11, calling Dirk a rage baiter. Couldn't agree more. And Kathy, thank you so much for another $100 donation on PayPal. Holy shit, Kathy. Thank you. Thank you so much for the love. Now your message, Kathy, definitely violates TikTok's terms of service. I cannot read that out without getting a flag for harassment, bullying, or like criminal behaviors. But I wish I could because of how based you are. Everybody, show some love to Kathy down below in that chat for the $100 donation. That is insane. Same thing to Alexa over on PayPal. You guys are going crazy today. Alexa, thank you for the $75 donation. Holy fuck. Alexa, thank you. Thank you so much. Saying that I just want to send this donation after that other Alexa sent $100. So happy to have you in the Alexa fam. Alexa, thank you so much. Dude, the Alexas, I guess, are going crazy today. Thank you so much for the $75 donation. Thank you so much. And then Macy, thank you for the $20 donation, who says the only thing booming is Trump's diaper. And I'm pretty sure Macy sent that after that guess was like the Trump economy is booming. And that's in reference to the fact that today the breaking news was that Trump shit his pants. So very funny, Macy. Thank you for the $20. Then Rebecca, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. And we are all caught up. Thank you guys so much. Oh, that's so cool. If you guys are watching and you want to support me, you want to support the stream, you want to support what we do here, you could find my Venmo, my PayPal, in the link tree in my bio on TikTok, pin message over on YouTube, and the handle's also at the top of the phone screen. Welcome in. We love America. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Very embarrassing. Can you change your name because you don't love America?
I do love America. I love America a lot.
Then why would you love somebody who's been attacking the core values of this country, like the Constitution? Like, how can you support a president that wants to consolidate all power to himself, acting as a dictator, and continues to resuggest nearly every day a new constitutional infringement, regardless if it's on the amendments or the original articles, and then turn around and claim that you love America?
I'm an American citizen. I love America. I'm not a constitutionalist. I love America because of its land, its people, and its country.
So you're actually saying
the thing is
you're not a constitutionalist, and that you defend Trump as somebody like a dictator. Like, would you be okay with Trump being a dictator?
Depends on what his policies are, I guess. But the thing is, it's like Biden broke the Constitution too. Like, Biden broke the Constitution too. Biden got charged for breaking the Constitution.
On what his policies are. Wow. Okay. So you're right. Biden did break the Constitution with his first attempt to forgive student loans. But see, the big difference is that wasn't intentional.
Not even that too. Not even that.
And on
he
top
DACA
of that,
recipient.
now are you gonna let me finish?
I'll let you talk.
Are you the same guy that I debate every day?
Every day? No.
Have you been on this live before?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I fried your ass. Fucking fried. I even have people in your comment sections. I read your fucking YouTube comment sections agreeing with me.
How did you fry me?
I fried you on tariffs and I fried you on Alex Preddy. Both situations you got absolutely fried on. I even have friends who are liberals.
Oh, you're the one that lost your mind. You came up here and you were like, Alex Preddy's a domestic terrorist who got what he deserved, and then you got like banned on multiple accounts.
I never said that. I said it was negligence, and you argued that it was cold-blooded murder.
Oh, so yeah, and then once again, the way that I fried you, because now I'm remembering, it'd be that from your view, the criminal negligence is what caused the murder.
No, what happened was I gave you said it was intentional. There could be no mistake about it. It couldn't be accidental. It couldn't be negligent. It has to be second-degree murder.
No, you're misinterpreting. Negligence would fall under the category of second-degree murder.
No, it'd fall under the category of manslaughter.
No.
And actually, we've seen cases like this before. In 2020, Stephon Clark, he mistaked someone who was doing car brake with... They were holding a cell phone. He mistaked it for a gun. And the court said the shooting was justified because he had reasonable cause.
Yeah, because they'd ruled that it was a reasonable mistake. But see, the thing is that criminal negligence is different than reasonable mistake. Because if it was a reasonable mistake, then it wasn't negligence. So the moment you posit that it was criminal negligence, you are refuting that it was a reasonable shooting.
I never said it was criminal negligence. I meant negligence as the way the officer reacted.
But no,
I
listen,
think he acted too hastily.
But making a reasonable mistake is not negligent.
You can make a reasonable mistake and it can be negligent.
Then it would be an unreasonable mistake
If I was on the highway and I was driving and I saw someone that looked like a small child on the road and I swerved my car and I hit another car, it would be negligence because I wasn't paying attention. I missaw something, but it wouldn't be an unreasonable mistake.
So if the reason why you thought it was a child is because you weren't paying attention, then it would be an unreasonable mistake, and therefore negligent. But if the reason why you thought you saw a small child was like maybe like there was like one of those like carbon copy like fake baby dolls that literally looks like a newborn in the middle of the road, it would actually not be negligent for you to swerve out of the way, because once again it would be a reasonable mistake. So all reasonable mistakes are not negligent, and all unreasonable mistakes are negligent. Prove me wrong by either giving me an example of an unreasonable mistake that is not negligent, or a reasonable mistake that is negligent.
What if the sun was glaring in my eyes and I mistaken the shadow? Sun glared in the eyes and it created a shadow that looked like a child. And I swerved the car.
So then you're under the supposition that you see a child because of something to do with the sun glaring in your eyes and changing your vision. All of a sudden,
I see a shadow.
A reasonable mistake that is not negligent.
Oh, and then I guess it was a reasonable mistake. It wasn't negligence.
Okay. So then what was the reasonable mistake?
The officer yelled, he's got a gun. That's in this transcript what the officer yelled. He's got a gun. One of the officers looked at his Hollister. He saw that it was empty, and then he saw a phone, a black phone, and he mistaken the black phone for a gun. That's a reasonable mistake.
Is that, you said that's what the transcript says?
The transcript says that. No, the transcript said that the officer yelled, "He's got a gun."
Wait, how do you know that he mistook the phone for the gun? Mistook the gun for the phone. The phone for the gun.
No, you can assume. We don't have many details on the case.
Wait, so
how do you know that?
Wait, so then you'd say that your argument against the notion that it's murder rests on a baseless assumption?
Well, how do you know that he didn't? How do you know that he saw him unarm the guy? Like,
okay,
there's so many.
Basically what you're saying here is that in order for it to not be true that he mistook the phone for a gun, I have to prove that he didn't mistake the gun. That he didn't mistake the gun.
Well, do you think
that he didn't? No. Let me talk. I'm already tripping over my words as is. An interruption on top of it is a whole other level that I can't deal with. Take it a deep breath and start in from the top. So you just said, Dean, how do you know that he didn't make that mistake of mistaking the phone for the gun? And basically what I'm hearing you say here is, well, from your perspective, in order for it to not be true, okay, that he mistook the phone for a gun, I would have to prove otherwise. Do you have any evidence that Donald Trump has not raped at least 100 small children in between 1980 and now?
Do I have evidence of it?
That he has not.
I would say that the documents. Yeah, well, the DOJ said there's not really there's not really good evidence on it. DOJ and the file said there's not.
Wait. So then your claim is that your evidence that he hasn't raped small children is the fact that you don't think there is evidence he has raped small children. So, I mean, I disagree with that. But anyways, therefore, in accordance with your logic, my evidence that he didn't mistake the phone for a gun is the fact that there is no evidence that he did mistake the phone for a gun. And that claim, there's no evidence that he did mistake the phone for a gun, would rest on you actually admitting that that was a baseless assumption.
But we do.
So now all of a sudden, using your logic, in the same way it is false Donald Trump is a child rapist, it is also false that that officer mistook the phone for a gun. And because it is false that that officer mistook the phone for a gun, it is now true that it was murder in accordance with your logic and only your logic. I've now changed your mind.
Well, what we do know is the DOJ investigated if Trump raped underage children. We do not have any criminal charges so far for the officer. There's been no criminal charges. There's been no one that said it was homicide. And
wait, Trump investigated. The DOJ investigated Trump for child rape. When?
in the Epstein files. They
Can you
took
show me
in
that?
tip lines.
Wait, I
took
didn't even know that they investigated him for child rape. Show me that.
Where do you? The tip lines. Did you hear about the Trump said he's going to bury someone in the golf course?
So you're talking about the tips? They investigated the tips?
They do investigate federal tips. If someone
and a
calls
lot of those
in,
like they didn't like hear a call back on. Oh, okay. Oh, but wouldn't it be possible that like he engaged in an action outside of those investigations, or the claims were true and the only reason why the investigations failed is because they were unable to get a call back?
No, a lot of people
Right?
who.
And by the way, he did bury people at his golf courses. Like we know that.
Who did he bury? Did he murder someone and bury them, or just bury a family member or something?
Buried his ex-wife for a tax deduction.
Oh, but that's different.
Okay,
than
but could you just
murdering
respond to like the
someone.
overwhelming argument that I have here? Because you argued that unless we have evidence of something, we could believe that thing to be false. Therefore, because we do not have evidence that the officer mistook Alex Preddy's phone for a gun, we could believe that thing to be false.
Well, there hasn't been any investigation on it.
Okay, so
there hasn't been any
if we
criminal
haven't
charge, there hasn't
investigated it,
been-
we could believe it to be true. So then why should we do any investigations at all if we could just assume it to be true in the first place? I thought the purpose of an investigation was to prove it to be true before you assume it to be true.
What I'm saying is that there's a bunch of variables in the case. You can assume different things, and you can.
I
see
wouldn't say
different
that there's
ways.
enough reasonable variables in order to entail that it's not murder due to the fact that he's on all four and unarmed.
Why hasn't there-
it was the clear broad daylight murder, and I mean this is one of the hardest arguments for you to overcome. There's no clear imminent threat that he was reporting to any of the LEOs. Stop defending murder, you spineless piece of shit. Like truly, I like only in
why hasn't there-
2026,
hey, let
only
me
in
talk, let me
2026 is the party lines about the morality of the broad daylight murder of American citizens in the streets of this country. It is sad, it is twisted, it is sadistic.
Why
and I hate
hasn't
the
there
fact
been
that our
one-
country has fallen this far.
Why hasn't there been one criminal charge on the state or federal level against him? Not even one case.
Well, I mean, if we know anything about the Trump DOJ, even